All right, all right. Looks like we are live. Man, what an explosion of Switch 2, PlayStation, not really Xbox, but what an explosion of news. Bad news, good news, man news, weird news, all sorts of news. Like it was, people were complaining that it's been kind of quiet. Well, it's not quiet anymore because Star Fox is here. Brand new remake that's dividing and breaking the internet even as we go on. All sorts of stuff that's been happening, man. So all sorts of stuff. So I definitely want to talk about everything here when it comes to the sales and all of that. And yes, the price hike, if you didn't see my video, definitely not good that there's a price hike. But it's only $50 for right now, at least here in the US. In other places, it's a bit higher, but it's still never good to see price hikes. You never want to see price hikes at all. So that's unfortunate. But there's also some other news. They gave us quite a bit of time until the price hike. So if you were planning on buying one for yourself or for a friend or for a family member, you might want to get it between now and September 1st, because that's when the price hike does take effect. So what are we in May? May, June, July, August, September. I mean, it's 4 or 5 months beforehand. So plenty of time, but still never good to see price hikes at all. So definitely don't like to see that. But we're going to discuss what Nintendo said, because it was kind of funny what they said afterwards and why. We also have the updated sales numbers for the Switch 2, the revised sales forecast. We have Switch 1 numbers. We have a lot. We actually have quite a bit to go over. And of course, like I said, Star Fox, that was insane. The reveal. I did plenty of videos, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw. But if you didn't see my reaction to Star Fox, check out, I have my reaction and I have a video up talking about Star Fox. I actually want to make another video talking about Star Fox when it comes to the game, because I can't stop thinking about it. I legitimately, as somebody who played Star Fox from the very start, it's an uncanny feeling that the direction that they're going with this Star Fox game. And I think the people that are old school and old maybe are kind of clashing with the newer people that basically knew, Star Fox Assault, Star Fox Command, Star Fox Zero, and the Mario Bros movie. So interesting to say the least. Interesting for sure. So we're going to talk about everything here. Let's get into the shout outs, and then we'll get into all of the good, the bad, the sales, the updates, everything, and all of the stuff that you guys want to talk about as well. Yes, early stream. I've got work and other stuff that I've got to do today, so that's why early stream. Certain Fridays and certain Mondays every single month for the foreseeable future. Unless I get things changed around. Let's see here. What's up, Dior? Welcome. What's up, General Zamora? Yeah, this upcoming Monday we'll also have an early stream this upcoming Monday as well. Dane Gonzalez is here. What's up? General Zamora is here. What is good? Collier, Projo. I agree with Projo. Definitely not a good look for price increases, man. Sweet T says $50 ain't that bad. I mean, most of us paid $50, like $500 for our Switch 2s anyway, but we got Mario Kart World with that. So it's not like people weren't already paying that for the Switch 2, but once again, now you get less for the same price, essentially, right? You don't get Mario Kart World with it now, or Pokemon Legends ZA, you don't get a game with it, so that's not good. Let's see, The Great Wall. What's up, The Great Wall? Welcome. How are you doing today? What is good? Alvin, what's up, Alvin? Welcome. Justin with the 3. What's up, Justin?
I have been playing a game that I almost have beat. I'll let you know how I feel about it when I do. It's not Digimon.
Not Digimon. Oh, I wonder what game it is. I'm guessing it's some type of RPG or action game or something. Me and Justin, we have the same type of taste outside of Dragon Ball Z. Justin, thank you for the big 3 first dono of the stream. Hey, oh. Thank you for the big dono, big 3 from Justin. And there's 3 or more. You can beat them out on JOJO Friday. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate that like always. Hey, I'm doing good, Vincent. How are you, man? What's up, Dawson? What's up? Just another Star Fox remake. Let's go, man. Shout outs. I love the name. Star Fox 2, first release on the SNES Classic. Star Fox 2. Thanks for letting us know information that we've known for a while now. That came out a long time ago. But yeah, they're giving us notice. Yeah. Let's see here. Recession indicator, early streams due to work in the PM. Well, before I used to always just go. I've always had multiple jobs, but it used to be where it was at a different time. But now it's kind of switched up. You know, I have back-to-back stuff that I got to do, family plus work afterwards. My schedule before, it was like either weekends or it was like Sundays or it was like a different day where it didn't interfere with my streams. But now it interferes with my streams. So, you know, I'm still doing the same thing, just different schedule. Let's hear. Hey, what's up, Ghost Fixer? Welcome. What's up, Nick93? Welcome. Also, when will Dustbloods release? We'll probably get a Switch 2 Direct coming up soon, so they'll probably announce the release date coming up like in June or something. What are your thoughts on PS6 news? We're gonna get into it, Projo. Don't worry. Sky Guys Quest. What's up, man? What's up, Sky Guys Quest? Let's see. Paynucci says Nintendo is winning today. Not really. Nintendo beat out their forecast when it comes down to that, and the Switch 2 with their next forecast, the Switch 2 still actually going to beat out the first 2 years of the Switch 1 when it comes to even with their revised down forecast. He's also an idiot because he was literally saying, oh, look, the investors are saying they should raise the price. So he literally just quote tweeted that on Twitter and said that. So he's not winning anything today. He's not winning anything today. Let's see here. Nintendo still beat out their forecast. He said that the Switch 2 would sell Wii U to GameCube levels. What did he win? Let's see here. Do you really think there'll be a Direct in June? Yes, Nintendo always does Directs around that time. So everyone should buy now before the Switch 2 goes up because it will happen again. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but it's happening now. Let's see here. Kind of sucks that Switch 2 is getting a price increase, but it's not as massive as PS5 or Xbox Series. They did tell people ahead of time. That's true. That's the good news. Let's see here. Star Fox reactions on Twitter have been funny. You know what the funniest thing about Star Fox reactions on Twitter? You press the people like, what have they played? What have they bought over Star Fox? Most of these people haven't even played or haven't even bought Star Fox. They don't even know about Star Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they just watched the movie and they said it should look like this, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? That's not, wait, no. Like, Nintendo has 5 million cartoony IPs, but if you watch my videos beforehand, I referenced the original Star Fox, the puppets, the realistic nature of Star Fox, and I referenced the graphics need to be really good. I referenced that all before. Go back and watch my videos on before we got the reveal of Star Fox. Like I said, maybe sure they might go like with the, you know, like with the animated style, but like I was saying that, hey, from the beginning, for those who weren't around, because most of the people commenting on Star Fox did not play the original when it came out. So let me give you guys the frame of mind when Star Fox first came out. When Star Fox first came out, it was not seen as an animated style of game. Everybody, and I mean everybody, in 1993, the commercials, it was made to be a realistic looking game. It's the first game with the Super FX chip, right? Where they built that chip into it with Argonaut and all those guys to enhance the power capabilities of the game further than what the Super Nintendo was even possible of. It was always deemed, when it was first made, as a realistic looking space fighting game with realistic looking animal characters. That's why they use puppets. That's why they didn't, like on the box art and all that, that's why they didn't draw them, you know, like a Mario world or whatever. It was a very different style. They went intentionally trying to make it like give you the perception of these are realistic looking animals inside a cockpit and fighting, you know, inside of a plane and fighting, like a starfighter and fighting, you know, or whatever. That was the general gist of it. Star Fox 64 was the same thing. They just did the best that they could with the hardware that they had. The only reason why things changed is because of Nintendo's pivot. Nintendo's pivot to being more of, you know, in terms of, you know, the hardware power not being able to do kind of like what they were looking for within Star Fox. That's the only reason why there was a pivot between Command, even between like Assault to a degree, Star Fox Adventures to a degree, and then of course like with Command and of course with Star Fox Zero. The first inclinations of Star Fox was never like the Star Fox in the Mario movie. It was always a realistic looking. So if you're old school like me, then I have no issue with it. That's how I felt the characters looked in my head 30 something years ago, going on 40 years ago or whatever. You know, that was my thought process. And even when I first saw the game, I was like, oh, it looks like the puppets. That's the first thing that I said. I was like, oh, it's like the puppets, because that's what it reminded me of. It goes for like a really realistic like fur and stuff like that. That's what it did. Now, a lot of people started like with Star Fox Assault, or if you started with like, or if you play like Zero or Star Fox Command, then yeah, you're thinking, oh, animated, anime, you know, not realistic looking. But if you started from the beginning like me, then obviously it's a little bit different, you know? So it's not about whether he has a cooler face or not. Like, it's about the fact that, like I said, they're going with a different style for this game. I love the style. I absolutely love the style of the game. Me personally. And I don't think they look chubby at all either.
The N64 one. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I don't think they look chubby. I just think that the models look bigger. They are all just like, they're more bigger models. I don't think they release full renders. They're all fine. It's just the models look just bigger themselves. You're just used to, once again, Star Fox Zero, anime, Star Fox in the, like, you know, you're not used to actual good graphics with Star Fox, like, where they're pushing the system. This is the first time since Star Fox 64 where they're actually, like, really trying to push the system graphically and what it can do with the character models and all that. I mean, since the original Star Fox and Star Fox 64. It's the first time. Let's see here. Do you think all of the Rails gameplay is outdated? I mean, yeah, it's intentionally outdated because it's Star Fox. So I mean, it's literally based off of a game from 30 years ago. So yes, it's outdated, but that's exactly what people want. People want Star Fox. They want that type of gameplay. So there you go. It's that type of gameplay. I mean, technically speaking, all fighting games, 2D fighting games, are outdated because it's all based off of Street Fighter 2. So don't buy it or don't play it if you don't like that type of gameplay. If you think it's outdated, go play something modern. Go play Marathon or something, you know? Let's see here. Also, 90% of the time, we'll just be in the R-Wing looking at level. Yeah, exactly. Nintendo does different art styles for a lot of this franchise. Look at Zelda. Don't mind the art for this game. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love it personally. It's shocking at the beginning, but you get used to it. I already did. I think people will have to get used to it. I mean, if you want to play the game, you're going to get used to it. You're going to have to get used to it. So, let's see here. Ace Combat 8 will be a better flying game. And that's fine. Those are two different flying games. Ace Combat is more of a, that's more, what is that? That's kind of more of like a action, light RPG mechanics, plane fighting game. Star Fox is an arcade shooter. So, that's fine. Two different games. Ace Combat's been around. Star Fox has been. Both these franchises have been around for decades. So what does that matter? Let's see. Never played a Star Fox 64, any Star Fox, so maybe that way I would have liked something more modern. But that's fine. Don't play it. It's not for you. If you don't think it's good enough, or if you've never played it before and you don't even want to give it a try, then don't play it. Play something else. Dude, I'm 41 tomorrow, actually. We have a game that's a throwback to that style. Yeah, like, it's a throwback to the style of people that want to play that. If you think it's outdated or it's not good, then don't play it. Move on. Play something else. Let's see here. Man, why am I buffering? Why are you buffering? What's going on? You guys getting some buffering? Refresh the stream if you're getting some buffering. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for another $3 dono, though, man. I appreciate that. Up in the lead to 6 on the board. Anybody does 6 or more, you can beat out Justin on the Hokage board. Remember, if you drop a dono, make sure you put your music request so I can play it for you. Also, 6 on the board here. We'll try to do the best we can with extensions. I'll go as long as I can with the extensions. Looks great to me. I just have winter prison. That's fine. No, it's all good, man. I feel you on that one. No lag on your screen. Stream is good on your end. I grew up on the PS1, so I'm not that young. Oh yeah, that's fine, man. Like I said, if you think it's outdated or if you feel that it should be different, then don't play it. It's not for you. This is a remake of Star Fox 64. So this is a throwback to the people that played Star Fox before, or people that want to give it a chance, that want to play a throwback game. You obviously don't want to play a throwback game. You want something more modern? That's fine. Splatoon Raiders is coming out. That's more of a modern game. Go play that. Or Ace Combat. That's a thing. Go play that. Or, you know, whatever airplane games are coming out. Go play that. You know, you don't have to play everything that comes out. You don't have to like everything that comes out. So, I think the problem that we have are gamers are always trying to say, no, it shouldn't be like this. It should be like what I want, when they have a clear, distinct path for what they want to do in the game. It's a remake of Star Fox 64. That's what it is. It's a full remake of Star Fox 64. Changing it to make it be like what you want it to be when you've never played any of the games is stupid, in my opinion. It's a remake of the same game. So if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to. Just play something else. Go play Ace Combat. That's a cool... Ace Combat is a great modern airplane action game. So Ace Combat is available. There's a bunch of Ace Combat games. So just go play that and be happy, you know? Let's see here. You were right, man. I'm feeling the designs now. It's not like I mean, listen, man, I'm not right about everything, so I'm not even going to sit there and try to take credit, like, for that or anything. What I'm saying is that you guys have no choice but to adapt to it. You're going to adapt to it. I mean, it's just, like I said, if you want to play the game, you're going to adapt to it. Plain and simple. And, like, you're going to be looking at those models, and you're going to be looking at the characters, and you're going to be looking at the detail, and like, okay, your eyes will adapt. It's just is what it is. Now, you don't have to like it completely, but people that want to play it will adapt. Like, look at Star Fox 64. I mean, look at that game, or look at the original Star Fox. Look at Star Fox Zero, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, people will adapt or not. You don't have to. Let's see here. He says, gameplay looks fun. I just don't like the art style. I know. Like, Sonic, I think you like everything animated, right? You like everything animated. You like everything, like, to look like anime or, like, Sonic or something like that. Some of you guys do not like realistic art styles at all for anything. What's even to adapt to? People are upset the art style or something? Pretty much, honey, yeah. I think it's just a bit jarring for them because they expected it to look like
Missed the last
Star
couple
Fox the movie.
streams, but my thoughts on Saros have been really positive. I'm liking the gameplay and world, a little less roguelike than Returnal. Housemarque have nailed that gameplay loop perfectly. Definitely earns its high rating. Great game.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game. I have not picked it up yet, but I'll definitely pick it up later down the line. I just don't want to play a rogue game, I'll be honest, Nick. I just don't feel like playing a rogue game right now, so that's the reason why I haven't picked it up yet. Give me 1 second, guys. That's the only reason why I haven't picked up. It's a good game, and it definitely earned its rating. I just don't feel like playing a rogue game. I'll just wait. But thank you for the 3, man. I appreciate that. Not on the combo board. We are 6 combos away from the 50-minute extension. So I understand people who don't love this Star Fox announcements, but I haven't been this hyped for announcement in a long time. This game looks crazy, dude. Online is going to go nutty. I think when the game comes out, people are going to buy it. I mean, it's $50, pretty much physical and digital because of Walmart and Amazon. So I think at that point, it becomes like, okay, I'll try it out. If I don't like it, oh well, I only dropped $50. People have reward points and things like that. So I think it's actually going to end up being probably one of the best-selling Star Fox games. If not the best-selling Star Fox game. Like, I think eventually it could get past Star Fox 64, but probably not. But I think it's actually going to sell better than Assault and Command and obviously Zero. I think it's going to instantly sell better than all of the most recent Star Fox games. So the most recent ones are Star Fox Zero, Star Fox Command. Those 2 games, both of them sold well under, I think, 1 million units, if I'm not correct. Or right around that or under. I know Star Fox Zero for sure definitely did. So I think this one's going to outsell those ones. So I think it's probably going to sell upwards of, 1 million to 2 million units, which would definitely put it in the upper echelon of Star Fox games when it comes to sales. Let's see. I have to get a Switch 2 for it. Yeah, get the Switch 2 before September 1st because the price is going up, man, which sucks. Are you doing any gaming this weekend? Yeah, I'll be playing whatever I'm playing. Sky Guy's Quest with the 24 months. How do you think the price drop will affect sales between now and September 1st? I do think a bit more people will buy it now at this point than what they would have because of the price jump, because they gave us such a big amount. So I do think that the sales are going to be steady, because people will be like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and get it now. Like, I even thought about it, like, okay, well, let me just buy my wife like the Switch 2, not $2. Let me just go ahead and get her the Switch 2 now, so I don't have to pay more later. So, and I'm probably gonna buy like another one, just like I want to give my my niece one for Christmas. So I'll probably buy at least 2 or 3, and I want to give my nephew one for Christmas too. So me personally, I'm probably gonna buy at least 2 or 3 more before September 1st, so I can have them ready for Christmas for my nephews and nieces. So I know for me personally, it's going to affect it, because before I was just gonna be like, all right, I'll just buy it, you know, when it's closer, you know, to whatever. But now it's like, well, maybe I should just get them now before. Also, there's gonna be people there's gonna be scalpers. There's gonna be people that buy them up and then try to make, you know, a quick $30 of profit, sell it for like $4.75 or something like that, right? So there's definitely gonna be people that are going to try to scalp it a little bit. So there'll be that too. So yeah. Switchforce said he doesn't think Star Fox will sell well. I mean, well, what's the definition of selling well? I don't know what his definition of selling well is. So I think they'll sell in line with what Star Fox sells. So they'll sell anywhere between 1 million and 2 to 3 million units. So that's selling well for Star Fox. The Ports is with the $5 dono and says, why is everyone criticizing Fat Star Fox? What happened to the body positive movement? He's not even, I don't think he even looks fat. I don't even know what people are talking about there. I think the models are just, once again, different. They're just not the same. The models before were smaller. These models are more full and bigger models. So yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know why people are saying that, to be honest. That's not what I thought. But I guess other people think that, so that's fine. Let's see here. Hello everyone, I have 40k plat on Warframe, willing to give some help to the clan village. Hey, shout out to Bluntsy, appreciate that. Also, partnered with the $5 as PlayerEssence got me until after price increase. Oh, because I think they will make a special edition Zelda. They will make a special edition Zelda, and I think that special edition Zelda might be closer to $600 for that. I mean, it depends if it comes with the game or not. I think if it doesn't come with the game, then it's probably going to be like $530 for it. But if it does come with the game, I think it's going to be closer to like $550 or $560 or maybe even $600 if it does. So we'll see. We'll see with that one. Thank you guys so much for the first combo break and overclock 50-minute extension. Ayo, Lego. Okay, hold up. I messed up this whole thing. All right, let me go. I do this. Yeah, I forgot to actually X them out. So, excuse me. So here we go. Now I can play it. Here we go. Now we can play the real
Overclock
Thank you for the $5 dono, Chrono Rig. I appreciate that. In terms of Mario Tennis, yeah, it looks like it's not doing as well. We didn't get the million seller on that one, so I think maybe definitely they might need to think about price dropping that one in order to increase the sales a bit. OG gonna have to buy special editions too. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'll buy them for myself, but I'm not gonna buy them for anybody else. Hey, what's up, Velvet? Yeah, I did miss your comment. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, I missed your comment because there's like a lot of comments coming through right now. So, okay, here we go. OJ, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's no secret how I feel about Switch 2. Absolutely love to play it almost every day when I can. Yeah, I pretty much play the Switch 2 almost every day when I can. You know, when I can play it, when I have time. I've been playing Romancing Saga. It's pretty cool. So I'll play some more today, like in my downtime. Use eShop cards. Could save like $20 to buy a Switch 2. Yeah, you can. At least that'll give people enough time. Yeah, I feel like the upcoming price increase means we're probably close to getting Switch 2 Lite. That'll cost $400. That's definitely a possibility. You know, this one's going to $500, so maybe they'll replace it with $450, or maybe like $429.99. I think maybe like a $429.99 or like a $450 or something. So yeah, that's definitely possible. Let's see. Pretty sure I was waiting for Star Fox to return, even if it's a new version of 64. Way better though. Metroid Prime 4 flop. I'm sure it sold 1 million combined or separately. It flopped. I mean, that doesn't make sense to say separately it flopped. I mean, it's one game. So, I mean, it sold 1 million, but we don't know what Nintendo's sales estimates were for Metroid. So it's hard to say something's a flop or not when you don't know what they were actually anticipating. It sold over 1 million, but were they anticipating more? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they were just making it just to finish it. So that's the unfortunate part. You don't know if something's a flop or not because you need to know exactly what it's like, what they were aiming for, what they're basing it off of. And what we know is that it sold over 1 million. So were they expecting a lot more than that? Were they not? Who knows at this point? Let's see here. Not selling 1 million on either 1 or 2 is a flop, but combined they sold 1 million. So like that's not how, like when a game comes out on 2 platforms, they don't say, oh well, 1 was a flop and 1 wasn't, like God of War or whatever, right? They just combine the sales and whatever it sold, it sold. It's the same game. So that's the reason why I don't ever separate versions of it to say one's a flop or not. Like for example, when Twilight Princess came out, I didn't say, oh well, it flopped on the GameCube because the Wii version sold way more. That doesn't make sense. You just add them together and it sold what it sold. That's never been a thing that we've ever done for sales. We've never separated the 2 and said one of them flopped but the other one did it. It's the same game. It's the same code. It's the same game. It's the same code. I've never done that in my life, but now you guys are showing up here saying, oh well, one of them was, the other one wasn't. Nobody's ever done that ever, but now you guys are showing up and doing that. So that's weird. That's super weird. Let's see here. Saw Christopher Jing's opinion that Nintendo should go back to Switch 1. I did see that, but I mean, obviously many people disagreed with him. Nintendo's forecasting 16.5 million, which is still above Switch 1's pace for the first 2 years. So why would they pivot back to doing that and potentially hinder sales even more with the price increase? That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense at all. Just continue releasing NSO games across both. Obviously continue selling the Switch 1. Rhythm Heaven's coming out. They'll still sell the system. I mean, it's getting close to 156 million units. It's pretty much right there at 156 million units. So there's no need to pivot back to that at this point, in my opinion at least. Let's see here. Do you think price changes projected lifetime sales for the Switch 2? No, it's too early to tell. It's way too early to tell on that. I mean, the lifetime, it's going to be like, what, 7 or 8 years from now? There's no way to know what games are coming out, how it's going to affect things, what people are going to think. I mean, obviously, Xbox and PlayStation prices in the future, handheld PCs. If people see, like, let's just say 5 years from now, and somehow the Switch 2 is still $500, whereas the Xbox and PlayStation are maybe like $1,000 or $800 or $900, that's going to be more of an effect on it than saying, oh, well, the price increase now sometime in the distant future for the long-term sales is going to be affected. No, that's not how it works. At the beginning of a system's launch, at least. Yoshi with the 5. Yossi. And he says, Star Fox Hype, you were right yet again about the price hikes, OJ. Yeah, I mean, I anticipated that there could be one. I didn't want one, but I anticipated that there could be one as well. But it's unfortunate, you know? I was hoping they could hold on, man. I was hoping they could hold on as long as possible, which they kind of technically are. I mean, it's up till September, so yeah. Shout out to Yoshi. Thank you for the 5. Yossi. Also, big love to Nick93 Justin, but we got some people that have came through and have Yoshi came through and beat out on the top ninja. So anybody does 5 or more, you can bet my man Yoshi, and I think Deported Sicilian as well. Thank you guys for your support, like always. Deported and Yoshi. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Anybody does 5 or more, you can beat out Yoshi and Deported Sicilian on the board. Also, Robin Newhouse with the 2 says, proud Switch 2 owner as of today. Nice, man. Good stuff. I don't even understand the point of releasing Switch games. The tech gap is too big also. I think they can do some like smaller stuff. So like, let's just say they want to create, you know, some small mini game collections and things that could go cross-platform very easy, like a Rhythm Heaven or something like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think like actually pivoting back and like taking Switch 2 games and trying to retrofit them to Switch 1 is a bad idea. That's probably a bad idea. Nick with the $1 says, thoughts on Japanese only Switch 2 price increase now that's more Japanese only PS5. It's interesting, probably won't affect sales that much over there. Yeah, I don't like the price increases for anything, but that doesn't really matter because the digital PS5, it's incomplete. It needs a disk drive to be complete when it comes to it. The disk drive costs like $80. So the Switch 2, it's a complete system. It has the actual disk drive so you can play all of your games. There's a lot of people in Japan that don't have or that, you know, that have physical games on PS5 and on PS4. So the problem with that is, yeah, that's true. It's more, which I saw Genki's tweet on that. I saw a lot of PlayStation people commenting on that, but it's a digital only. Like, it's digital only. That's the problem. So that's the problem. You got to pay $80 just to be able to play physical games. Once again, the price increase when it comes to that. It doesn't cover the deals that you're going to be able to get physical, being able to play your backwards library of PS4 games, or being able to once again play used games. You can't. So it's more expensive, but not really. Which is the same thing that I said with the Xbox Series, because people say, oh well, it's cheaper than the Switch 2. Not really. The Xbox Series isn't, because you need to spend. There is no physical games. You need to spend more potentially and not get physical deals. So that's the only issue that I have with that. Yes, on paper, sure. But the problem is that there's no disc drive. You lose out on deals. You lose out on potential used games. You lose out on all that. You lose out on playing your backwards library. If you have a game that you have in your PS4 library, you have to buy it digital just to be able to play it backwards compatible. That's not cheaper. That's more expensive, in my opinion. So deported with another 5. Obviously, that's just my own personal opinion, and I've had that opinion from the beginning. I've had that. I even said that with the PS5. Go back and look at my videos so people think that I'm being hypocritical. I said that the digital PS5 is not cheaper than the physical PS5, because that $100 that you save, you can easily make that up and not having to rebuy digital games that you bought physical and you might want to play, and not having to, and being able to shop anywhere that you want. Physical, used games, physical, borrowing from friends, whatever the case is. So yeah, it's $100 difference on paper, but not really, not in actuality, because the money you'll save, heck, just being a Nintendo fan, just in general, you can get games used way cheaper than buying them from Nintendo if you wait a bit or whatever, right? So that's the reason why I say on paper it is, but not really. And I had that same belief in 2020 when Sony made a $100 gap between digital and physical. I'm like, the PS5, the PS5 physical disc drive is still the better deal and is still cheaper in the long run. It's still cheaper in the long run. So that's the reason why I say that. Dring thinks that it would be similar to what Sony did with keeping the PS4 around longer than expected, but I don't think PS5 and Switch 2 were in the same situation. Yeah, those are two different situations. And there was also the chip shortage too. So there was that Sony had to deal with. There's ample supply of Switch 2 now at this point, for the most part. So there's no need to do equate it to what PS5 did. Thank you for the $5 dono. And he says, do you think that Nintendo can get body positive influencers such as Lizzo, Demi Lovato, or Tess Holiday to sponsor the Health at Any Size Star Fox? Yes, I think that Lizzo would be a good one. Although she's losing weight, so I mean, maybe not Lizzo. Maybe somebody else. Let's see here. Dustin with the $2 says Yoshi demo is available at Best Buy at Walmart. Walmart. Okay, nice. I'll go check that out. Maybe I'll go check that out today. I'll get my maybe I'll go check that out today. Let's see. So yeah, people can take their time and buy disc drive later, but I get your point. Yeah, once you buy that disc drive, it becomes more expensive than the Switch 2. So I get what they're saying, but I'll say the same thing that I said with the PS5 and when that launched in 2020. It's not cheaper. I once again, go back and look what I said. I've said that Party Man and the people here, Dior, you guys can all verify. I'm not being hypocritical here. I literally said the same thing with the PS5. I'm like, that's not cheaper, because what you lose out. And remember, that was back before I think we even had a disc drive. Like, there was no way to even add a disc drive to the PlayStation 5. I was like, no, that's not cheaper. Like, it might seem like that, but to people who, once again, look at it on the surface, but if you peel back what's actually happening, it's actually more expensive. Let's see here. Nintendo running fake victory laps right now. Yeah, it's a fake victory lap considering Nintendo hit their sales forecast. So I don't know what he's victory lapping. He said it was gonna sell like the GameCube or the Wii U. So let's see here. Wish it could include Welcome Tour with the new price of the Switch 2. Welcome Tour is not even good enough to pay attention to be honest, man. It should have just had it from the very beginning. But Welcome Tour is not even worth worth too much time. I mean, it's okay. It's a nice little game, but it ain't anything that important, to be honest. Let's see. No dock, no HD rumble, no mouse sensor. It won't have magnets and only needs a battery instead of 3. There's a way to make it $100 less. No dock, no HD rumble. No, you definitely want to include HD rumble. So I disagree with that heavily. Stripping it back that much, I don't think that's a good idea. No dock, they'll do a Switch Lite, so that's a given. No mouse sensor, yeah, that's going to be a given as well, because if they make a Switch Lite, it's going to be a modular system. It's not going to have removable Joy-Cons. So yeah, no mouse. So I think that's the thing. So yeah, but yeah, HD rumble should be included. I don't think they should get rid of HD rumble, in my opinion. I agree, I'm team disc drive and physical, but there's a lot of people who only buy digital. Maybe for them it makes sense, who knows. That's true. I agree with that one. That's true. Nintendo might win once we get price increase, to be honest. He might win once we get price increase, to be honest. Might win what? He said it was going to sell like the GameCube or the Wii U. It's already sold past the GameCube. It's already sold past the Wii U, and it's right there next to the GameCube. What are you talking about? What will he win by consistently moving the goalpost over and over and never debating or talking to anybody else? He's lied about Switch 2 sales all last year. He lied last year. He lied this year. He's been lying 24/7. What is he winning? Please give me his arguments that you guys are saying that he's winning, so we can shut it down. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's scared to debate anybody. But please do not bring Nintendo points in here thinking like he actually has any points. Come on now, guys. I thought you guys were smarter than that. Nintendo winning based off of what? Based off of what? What did he say that he win? Remember, this guy said it'd sell somewhere between the Wii U and the GameCube. Lifetime. What has he won? What has he won? Please tell me. That's why he won't debate me, by the way, because he knows I'll bring that up and make him look like a complete idiot. So, I mean, come on now, guys. Deported with the $2 says, still waiting for OJ's Welcome Tour review. Yes, I got to do the Welcome Tour review, guys. I got to do it. Yes, I will. Calm down. Calm down. Shout outs, though. Thank you for the support, though. Appreciate it. Let's see. I don't watch Dean, but I hear his comments tear him apart. Yeah, Nintendo Prime and everybody, like I said, I don't know why you guys keep bringing that bum up, man. Ain't nobody care about what he has to say. Let's see here. Sony is really on flop quest. Sony to break the flop record by making $900 PS5 post-game content. Post-game content is in the sales figures. Well, I don't think the PS5 Pro is going to sell very well. I mean, the regular standard PS5, probably when GTA comes out. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, there's no way to sugarcoat it. We got the sales numbers that came in. Sony's been doing good. Profit-wise, they're okay. Sales-wise, they did not do good. They did not do good this past quarter. It was a 45% drop year on year. So last year at the same time frame for Q4, they sold 2.8 million. This year, they sold 1.5 million. And this is another reason why you shouldn't really listen to these weirdos on Twitter. Because on Twitter, all they did was tell you how much it sold and how great it was doing and all that. And flaunting the NPD or Circana. And it ended up selling, or flaunting VG charts. Dude, VG charts was off by double, 100%. They said that the PS5 sold 3 million units worldwide for the first 3 months. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. They were off on Switch 2, but not by as much. Switch 2 sold 2.5 million for the first 3 months of this year. PS5 sold a million less, 1.5 million. So people were trying to make it seem as if it was close. It was never close. It was never close. So I think that they're not, the sales for the PS5 weren't great, and the price hike is going to make it even worse. But they're mitigating that by having, obviously, games and like revenue and, you know, with PSN and with microtransactions and with games. So they're selling a lot of games. So that is the offset of that. And they're incorporating AI. They're going full AI. So that's going to help with the process. There's probably going to be more layoffs now with full incorporation of AI, but we'll see. Technically, Switch 2 sold like GameCube by matching its lifetime sales in the first full year in the market. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Switch 2's already over GameCube. So, I mean, like, what did he win? He didn't win it. He didn't win anything. No, the Nintendo Switch Lite does not have HD rumble, so Lite 2 as well. Yeah, but I feel like they should do HD Rumble 2 with this one. I get that the Lite doesn't have it, but I think they should do it with this one. But once again, you are right about that. We'll see. I will take Dean seriously the moment because he decides to become a big investor. Let's be real, he's never going to do that. Even if he was an investor, that doesn't matter. There ain't nothing that he says that's anything worth of note. So, I mean, nobody takes him seriously. I mean, let's just be real here. So, and once again, Switch 2 hit its sales forecast. It literally hit its sales forecast. They said that they were going to sell 19 million. They sold 19 million. They say they're going to sell 16 because of the price increase. That's still above the 15 million that they forecasted originally for the Switch 2 at the launch. Remember, they were aiming to sell 15 million units by the end of March. They upped that to 19. They hit that. The 16 is still above that. So, yeah, let's just be real. Let's deal with facts here, not some random weirdo who's angry and butthurt at Nintendo for whatever reason and willing to spread lies and never debate anybody. So it's all good. I don't know why you guys keep bringing that bum up. He's not relevant. I liked Welcome Tour. It was really cool. Learned about the engineering behind the Switch 2. That's cool. It should be included in the system, you know. They thought a good month or two was going to be enough to carry PS5 down to reality hitting these schizos. Once again, there was never any really good month or two. It was always just average. There was no really good month or two. All they were looking at was unconfirmed sales numbers from VG charts, and they were looking at the sales from the Circana and saying, oh, well, here in the US, it was slightly more or whatever, right? The first 2 months. We don't know how much more. It could have been 1 unit for all we know. We have no idea how much it was, but once again, Pocopia came out at the end of March, and that really did help out. Now, and I will say this. Nintendo's definitely lucky. Nintendo's a little lucky, but I will say that. Nintendo's just a little tad bit lucky with Pocopia that it ended up being what it was. But luck is something, when hard work meets opportunity, my coach always told me that. When hard work meets opportunity, that creates luck. So, obviously, Nintendo has Pokemon. They're the ones who funded Pokemon Pocopia. They said, do it. You know, they're the ones who they said, okay, yeah, that could be a good idea. That could sell well. So they're the ones who funded that. They funded it. They said that. The developers worked hard on the game. They had to, obviously, games like that, you have to bug and QA test like crazy. It is not a simple type of game to make because everything can break in those type of games. So their hard work, their money, they put it together, they released it at a time, they released it when they felt that it'd be good to help out, to close out the fiscal year, and they did that. So you got to give credit where credit's due. A little bit of luck, sure, but once again, hard work meeting opportunity, put it at the right time, you making the right calls, you get you increase the sales. So it is what it is, right? Sometimes it's be lucky to be good, yeah. I think Switch 2 is going to outsell PS4 lifetime sales. I think it's going to be right around there. I'm estimating anywhere between 90 million to 120 million for the Switch 2. But once again, things can change. There could be a whole drastic thing that comes out in the future. It's hard to tell. I just like to kind of just give general guidelines like, hey, it's going to hit 100 million or it's going to like that. That's what I did with Switch 1. I didn't give any specific number. I just give a kind of a range. And I felt that Switch 1, it was going to be somewhere between 80 to 100 million plus. You know, that's what I felt and that's what it was at. So ended up far surpassing that. So similar to Switch 2. Or similar, my thought process is similar with Switch 2. Let's say people on Twitter care more about console sales than actual games is weird, man. Most of the people on Twitter, that makes up such a small portion of the people who play video games. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to take Twitter seriously when it comes to all this stuff. But I agree, Nick. A lot of people care more about sales and stuff than they care about actually playing games. She's the orange bum and effed everything up in tech. Well, I mean, listen, man, it is what it is, dude. I mean, AI obviously is wreaking havoc right now. Sometimes, so Steam Machine will definitely be 1K. I think the Steam Machine's going to be $600 up and up. Who knows? But I think the minimum is $600 for the Steam Machine. And it doesn't come with the controller either. So, I mean, if you wanted the Steam controller with it, now you can use your own controllers. So there is that. But if you wanted the Steam controller, that's another $100 on top of that. So, yeah, there you go, man. They bundle Pocopia, Switch 2s with Flight. They do have a bundle with Pocopia, but it's only it's only in Australia and New Zealand for right now. So so that's the thing. It's only for that right now. I'm surprised that there's a 3-month window warning of the price. May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, first. I'm surprised that it was that long of a window too. I'm a little surprised, but I mean, I think that's nice. I mean, it's obviously not good to increase the price, but I mean, the fact that they're giving you that big of a window, and they also apologized. They said, "Hey, we're sorry," you know, to our shareholders. The shareholders are salivating. They're like, "Good, yeah, yeah." They want it to go up. They wanted the price to go up, but they did apologize. And like I said, it sucks, man. I hate price increases. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, dude. I don't like price increases. Everything's already expensive as it is, but you know. Deport with the $5 donut says PS5 is now at 92.2. No, I think it's at 93.7 for the PS5. Yeah, 93.7 for the PS5. Will Switch 2 lifetime outsell PS5 lifetime without Jim Ryan funding extra sales? Okay, you're just joking around. I mean, I don't listen, man. Listen, Jim Ryan, you know, he did it. I don't know if he'll be able to get away with another fund increase. Okay, I don't know if he'll be able to do that this time around. Shout out to Deported Sicilian. Thank you for the $10 total. You have done 10, or did you do more than 10, Deported? I think you've done more than 10. You're now the new Hokage. No, actually, yeah, you've done 12. Anybody who's 12 or more, you can beat up a man. Deported on top of the board. Ayo, let's go. Also, overclock 30 minutes. Let's get that into as well. Combo breaker.
Overclock buster.
All right, let me play it real quick. There we go.
Overclock buster.
Shout outs, guys. Appreciate that. Switch 2's goated, in your opinion. It's a good system. It's a solid system, man. They found more PS2s sold. Hey, bro, you got to get it any way that you can. Imagine if Switch 2 gets GTA. That'd be nice. There are some rumors that it's coming, but I don't think it's coming day and date, or I don't think it's coming anytime close. If it does come, it's not coming anytime close to the launch of Switch of the game later this year. To be fair, they had no choice. Holding for over a year is more than what we could expect. I mean, based off of what I've heard, an analyst, Mr. Daniel Ahmed, based off of what he said, yeah. So basically, here's what Mr. Daniel Ahmed said. He's a Nikko Securities analyst. He said this: Nintendo was reporting that it expects 100 billion yen, roughly $640 million dollars, impact this fiscal April 2026 to March 2027 as a result of rising component prices and tariffs, based on the 16.5 million unit forecast for Switch 2. That's around $40 extra in cost per console versus last year. So it's about $40 extra, so $50 price increase. So probably some wiggle room in there as well with that $10 when it comes down to it, because I think they might have been breaking even or slightly up or potentially even losing money on every Switch 2. So even with the cost how it was last year. So there you go. That's essentially what, you know, why the price increase. If the breakdown, they actually have the breakdown there with the forecast and Nintendo telling us how much the components cost more, what they're investing to get the system produced and made. That's in the actual Nintendo slides there. So at least they explained it very well, you know. Ipsters with the $1 dono says, can we pay respect to the Switch 1 as it would have beaten the PS2 record that stood for 25 plus years today until Lion Jim Ryan conveniently found an extra 5 million. LOL. Yeah, technically speaking, it would have beat out the it would have beat it out, but you know, we have to just go off of what they say. So it is what it is. Thank you for the $1 dono, man. I appreciate that. At least it's not a radical increase in price. It's not, but it's still a price increase, you know, like it's still a price increase. So you never like to see that, you know, you never like to see the price increases, man. I know I don't. So that makes me change my plans up in terms of like when I'm going to buy systems for like my family and friends, you know, and things like that. So, and of course, like when we give away systems as well. So I better buy that extra system now for that giveaway. Oh man. So let's see here. This See, I'm not sure if it's increasing in the UK because I only mentioned euros in Europe increasing in price and not pound. They didn't, but I think there's definitely going to be a price increase in the UK, but we'll see. People laughed at me when I bought a 1 terabyte memory card for Switch 2. Now the bigger capacity games are coming out. 1 terabyte is needed, and the 1 terabyte cards are actually going up in price too. So you probably made a good investment there. Daniel with the $2 dono coming in says, glad Switch 2 games are cheaper, SF50 physical. That's the good news. It's like, yeah, we're having to pay more, I mean, for the Switch 2, but like, you might make up the difference in the fact that the games are cheaper. Not at this point, without having to have NSO and without having to buy vouchers, you know, you're just gonna get cheaper off the top because thankfully, Amazon and Walmart are price matching Nintendo's digital prices, so physical and digital are just flat out cheaper this gen right now, with certain games. So that's good. That's the good news with that, you know. So I think that's actually kind of mitigated some of the backlash, in my opinion, is the fact that Nintendo, you know, is doing cheaper games now. So I think people are like, yeah, but we're making it up, like we're making up that $50 over time, right? If they continue to do this, you know, 70, 60, 50, you know, 50, 70, 60, 50, 60 type deal, then it's good, right? Because over the course of a whole generation, obviously you make up that $50 and then some, you know? Let's see, time to be alive. Usually consoles get cheaper with more storage. I know, seriously, man. Unfortunately, it's the economy that's the problem. AI and RAM back in the day. And the thing about it is that RAM back then, they used to use a very small amount of RAM. Like the PS3 had 256 split. The Xbox 360 had 512. The Wii had like what? Did it even have? They had like megabytes of RAM. They had like a few megabytes of 80 megabytes of RAM. That's the problem, man. Is that like systems used to have small amounts of RAM, small amounts of component cost and stuff, cheaper component costs. Now they're all using high-end parts. They're all using new AI and machine learning and all this different type of stuff, and that technology is not getting cheaper. You can only go as cheap as the technology allows it. Back then it was cheaper, you know. Power PC architecture, that's what Nintendo used all the way through to the Wii U. Power PC, that architecture is ancient. Now obviously with x86, that's also old, but it's PC and it's constantly evolving new parts that are coming in. And once again, now with machine learning, now with PSSR, now with all these different technologies that they're doing, you know, the massive amounts of RAM, you know, 10, 12, 16 gigabytes of RAM, of high quality fast RAM, also SSDs, not, you know, before there used to be no hard drives in old systems. There'd be barely any hard drives, or they'd use old laptop hard drives, or there would be like literally like no hard drive, like, or like megabytes, like the Wii or whatever. Or the Wii U had what, 32 gigabytes? So now they have like 200, 256, 1 terabyte, you know, 2 terabytes. So that's the problem now, man, is that the advancement, the technology has not caught up with the prices. Technology has skyrocketed, prices have skyrocketed with it, you know? Yo, Ninja JP, thank you for the $5 Ninja.
I'm excited to play my first Star Fox game.
That's what I've heard so much from people online. They're excited to play their first Star Fox game. That's what I've heard so much. They're excited to play their first Star Fox.
What's up, OJ? Been waiting on this stream so we can vent about the Star Fox grifters who never even played or purchased a title. Your streams are therapeutic.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Star Fox. I mean, once again, it's talking to a new audience, right? So the new audience is going to give their opinion on what they feel about things. But I do think that there's a lot of people who've never even played and don't care about Star Fox that have something to say. I agree with that. But shout outs to my man James Forte with the first JOJO. Thank you for the big $10 dono. First JOJO of the stream. Yo, let's go. Get some hype in the chat with that 10 and up. The JOJO is here. 58 on the board. Combo breaks. And of course, you guys know we got to play the notification every time we get one of those 10 and up. Yo, JOJO Friday, we out here. First one. Let's go. Shout outs, man. Appreciate that. Let's go. Let's see here. Hopefully Nintendo taking advantage of the holiday season by doing $500 bundles with the game and maybe a couple months of NSO included. That would be good, Paladin. Add in a game, probably Mario Kart World. Add in Mario Kart World. Excuse me, Mario Kart World, 3 months of NSO, $500. That'd be a perfect bundle for the holiday. I think that would be a phenomenal bundle for the holiday. Excuse me. Mario Kart World, 3 months of NSO, $500. You know. So hopefully they do that. That's pretty much what they did with the Switch 1. They would just put it at the same price, like $300. You get NSO 3 months. You get Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So yeah, I agree with that. Straight up, if the new Star Fox game was just announced, shown for $70, the usual grifters would have cried about the price. Yes, probably, because it's a rail shooter. A lot of people, we're gonna popping peanut butter when Star Fox came out. But we're still popping pooping peanut butter. I thought you said pooping peanut butter. A lot of people weren't even born at that time, bro. So, I mean, a lot of people were born after that. I mean, if you were born in 2000, you're 26 years old now. If you were born in 2000, you're on your way to 30. So it's like, we're all getting old at the end of the day. So if you were born in the year 2000, you're on your way to 30 in a few years here. So that was 3 years after the original Star Fox 64. If you were born in 2001 or even 2002, you're 25. You're turning 25, right? You're in your mid 20s. So like, there's a lot of people who weren't even born or they were not even alive when Star Fox was the most relevant. Like the peak of Star Fox's popularity was in like 1998. There were plenty of people that were, once again, pooping peanut butter in their mom's stomachs, okay? Being born or not even alive yet, all right? They're twinkling their dad's eyes, okay? So it's one of those things to where a lot of people don't even know, like, they weren't around when Star Fox was even popular. But, so it is what it is. So... Man, I see the dudes whose video who said Star Fox was still expensive, digital, physical. That person's just broke, to be honest, which, it is what it is. You guys got to realize, too, like, there's a lot. Listen, man, it's tough out there. There's a lot of people that don't have a lot of money. And, like, they see little, like, I saw a person, literally, like, bro, let me show you guys this. I quote tweeted it first, but I'm like, you know what, man, I ain't going to quote tweet it. Let me just do this instead. Let me just talk about it on my, where's this post at, man, bro? Like, I saw stuff like this. 3,000 likes, man. Look at this nonsense, bro. Look at this. This is what. Look at this, fam. Look at this, bro. Like, that's why you can't take none of these dudes seriously. Look at this, bro. I beg y'all to please just play some indie games. They're way cheaper and 10 times more interesting than anything you'll get out of a Nintendo game. Not even just Star Fox, because he was quote tweeting Stealth saying $4.999 digitally, physical price likely to be $9.99 but not confirmed. So he has a problem with that price. And 10 times more interesting. 10 times more interesting than Mario, than Zelda, than Xenoblade. But look at the games that he links. More interesting than anything you'll get out of a Nintendo game. There are plenty of alternatives. Bro, look at this. This is just broke. And there's nothing wrong with being broke. Like, if you're broke, you're broke. I get it. But this is just the next level of broketry. This is legitimately, I don't feel like paying for anything. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, look, $70, $80, whatever. But it's another thing to sit there and say 10 times better. And this is what you show us. I'm not saying these games are bad. The games are probably good. They're very positive. But you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be, like, look at this. Look at what he's telling us. 10 times more interesting, huh? Look. What is this? I'm not saying these games are bad. But come on, man. Like I said, there's just people that are broke. So since they're broke, this is what they do. They sit there and exaggerate and make up stuff because they don't want to spend more than $20 on a game. They don't want anybody to get paid. They think everything is indie. They think everything should be handled by two-man teams, and everything should cost $5. That's just a level of broke. That's really all it comes down to. Once again, I'm not hating on poor people. I was poor. I grew up in the toughest time to be poor. Trust me. The toughest time to be poor and a gamer was the 80s and 90s. In today's day, you can be broke, but there's credit cards, there's side hustles, there's way more ways to make things now in today's day as a kid or as a young person than there was before. You can sit and be a grifter now and make a ton of money. You can go on Twitter, pay for Twitter thing, and basically just tweet and try to get attraction. You could not do that crap when I was a kid. You'd be surprised how many people make money just being an idiot, okay? You can do it on YouTube, you can do it on Twitch, you can do it on Twitter. There are multiple different avenues and ways to make a little bit of side money. When I was growing up, it was the worst time to be broke because the game prices were insane. We didn't have little indie games to spend our money on. Sure, you had to wait for the sales to where they were cheap, but we didn't have indie games that just came cheap right away. Everything was on a freaking cartridge, okay? Where the cartridges were expensive. The NES, unless you bought used. Once again, you buy them used, then you can get a little help, there. But I grew up at the worst time to be broke, and I was broke. N64 games were expensive as hell. I had to save for a year, almost a year to buy Pokemon Stadium for $69.99 in the year 2000 or 99 or whenever that game came out. Literally, that's like $100 in today's money or something like that, or nearly $100 in today's money. Okay? So I'm tired of these people, man. These people are stupid as hell. Look at this crap, bruh. Are you kidding me? This man's telling me there's some little, what is this? Anime little girl shooter game over Star Fox? This is what you're telling me? Because of a $50 price tag? Mirage Feathers? Like I said, don't get me wrong, it's probably a good game. But come on, man. This is 10 times more interesting than Xenoblade? No, I do not think little anime girl wearing what are they, like 9 years old? 10 years old? Little anime girl flying around is more interesting than anything Nintendo makes. You've got to be kidding me. These people are delusional. These people are absolutely delusional. They do not want good games. They don't want variety. All they want is cheap PC, Steam nonsense. That's all they want. I can't stand it with some of these people. So when people say, "Oh, well, $50 is too expensive," this is what it's just an air of broke to them. They don't want Nintendo to make games and to be good games. They don't want them to pay their employees. They want everybody to be indie developers and be broke. That's all they want. It's crazy, bruh. Deport with the $5 dono. It says, I'm broke too, OJ. I just don't appreciate being called out. Bruh, I'm broke too. I'm broke as well, man. I'm also broke. I don't got anything. Dude, everything costs too much now. I'm married. I'm broke. Thank you for the 5, Deported. I appreciate that. Upping your Hokage lead to 17. Anybody that's 17 or more, you been up, my man. Deported Sicilian on the board. Let's see here. Search first squad. That's another one someone posted. Even do a barrel roll. No, I'm gonna. I ain't searching any more of these weirdos. 3,000 likes for a bunch of stupidity, a bunch of nonsense. Windows just released their gaming overlay into beta. I do not care. Those screenshots aren't helping their argument. Star Fox not even out yet. They're acting like the clowns and the grifters of the circus for that. Seriously, bruh. You gotta be kidding me, man. Like, bro. No. No. And then you've got like Star Fox that looks significantly better than all of this, and it's $50. What do you want them to do? Charge $10 for Star Fox? You want them to charge $15 for that type of graphics, that type of game? You want them to charge $15 for that? These games are made by like 1 or 2 man teams. That's the reason why you can have a cheap game. But if your game is made by, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, you can't charge $10 for the game. Do you not want people to get paid? Do you not want there to be an economy? And like I said, people like this will never understand economy. They'll never understand anything. They'll just sit there and they'll just sit there and act like everything needs to be an indie game and people should not be paid more than anything for their games. the craftsmanship, the dedication, the time it takes. Listen, $50 is not super cheap, but it's not super expensive for the Star Fox remake. Somebody needs to get paid, right? If you're paying a developer $70,000 or $80,000 a year, somebody needs to get paid. You gotta pay people something. Or should they get paid nothing? Should they do slave labor? What does this person want? And like I said, there are many people that are like this. What are they looking for? It doesn't make any sense to me, man. It really doesn't. Yes, I've played Skylanders. I am broke, but I don't complain, and I save up for it. Yeah, we are lucky it's 50, but they could have jacked up the price just and it'd be justified. I don't think it'd be justified personally. I think that, you know, I think in today's day, considering the price of hardware and everything, I think that $60 to $70, 60 digital, 70 physical, okay, I can get that, but I don't think it should be jacked up any higher than that, in my opinion. Those could be good games, but Star Fox is also good. Why we gotta break down one game for another? Well, that's what I agree with that. I think, like I said, I think these games are good. They all have very positive reviews, but like I said, basing everything on little indie games that are cheaper, so therefore you think that they're 10 times better when you don't even play obviously he does not even play the Nintendo games. So I like I said, anytime that somebody goes into this diatribe of, oh, well, it's too expensive, what they really mean is that they're just broke. They just want everything to be, they don't want anybody to get paid. They don't want games to evolve. They don't want anybody to get paid. They want everything just to be cheap and everything to be indie. That's all they want, because they don't care, you know, which is stupid. I want Star Fox to have good graphics. I want games to look good. I don't want them to look so good to the point to where it's photorealistic and games cost $10 million. That's not needed. But we should have more than just little pixelated and little girls flying around on a screen. Like that's insane to sit there and put out that type of statement like, oh, let's support that. Instead, it's like, bro, what if I don't want to play that? What the hell? I mean, like it's just stupid in my opinion, man. It's just really dumb. That person is deranged. He's literally telling people to cough on items at the grocery store and airports. There you go. Brian Jedi. Okay, so you look through their profile. Exactly. Somebody crazy, right? He's a lunatic. That's what a lot of these people are. As soon as you start looking at their profiles, you start seeing that they're crazy, bro. They're either crazy, no politics here, guys, but crazy far left, crazy far right, schizos, man, straight up schizos. And like I said, a lot of these guys are PC people. A lot of these guys are PC people. Like the amount of PC schizos, you know, that go crazy on things, bro. Like a lot of these guys are schizos, man. Don't forget about Celia. Mina just got a release date. Yeah, Mina did get a release date. I posted it on Twitter. So yeah, I'll be picking that up May 29th, right? Or like late May. It says the wonderful thing about capitalism is that I can buy something or not. You don't buy it, then you don't buy it. The blame the studio closure on people not buying the game. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing though. Like, listen, man. Once again, I want there to be a good economy. I want there to be, and I know that, like, in order to have a good economy, you have to create value. In order to create value, you have to create something that people feel is worth it. In order to create something that people that feel is worth it, you need to have people that are motivated. In order to have people that are motivated, you need to have people that feel that it's worth their time. In order to have people to feel that it's worth their time, you need to be able to pay them. You see what I'm saying? Like, not understanding the chain of economy is the PC schizo way. That is the PC schizo, not the regular PC gamer, the PC schizo way. In order to have people invested in wanting to create something of value, you need to pay them. In order to pay them, you need to price things a certain way. You can't price everything $12, but then expect them to make a game for 3 or 4 years, or whatever the case is, and make the game nice and detailed or whatever, and then expect them to be paid that. You're gonna have layoffs, you're gonna have problems, like Microsoft and Sony have been having when it comes to layoffs, like the whole industry's been having, because they overshoot everything, they pay their corporate executives way too much when it comes to certain things, and then they end up having to have layoffs. So you need to have some type of balance. You can't just have everybody making little indie games 24/7, you know, and then say, oh well, they're all $5 or $10. Like that's not how things work. That's not how the economy works. That's not how gaming works. It's never worked that way. It's never worked that way. Let's see. Yeah, I wasn't trying to bring in politics, but his most recent tweet. Yeah, no, I feel you. I already know what type of. If it's somebody that I already know what it is, schizo far left people, bro. I see them. You see them all over the place on both sides, bro. Both sides. So yeah, I'm not bringing in politics either. But yeah, you talk about somebody that's telling you to cop on stuff. You already know what they're thinking. You already know what they're thinking. Schizo. Let's see here. Harmony, economy, sociology, psychology, all go around. Yes, sir. The PC gamers know how much everything costing now. Any clowns in the 7th season. Anytime Nintendo gets a orchestra for one of their games, you already know it's gonna be a banger. 9 times out of 10, Star Fox was like another one, no doubt. Yeah, I actually checked out the whole like the 10 special soundtrack on what's it called? On the Nintendo app. I was working out yesterday and I listened to it and it's really good. It's really good. Doesn't Steam take a big chunk of profits? And with sales, do the devs get less? I'm curious. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo and Steam all take the same amount. They all take 30%. So they all take 30%. So you got to remember, profits are what you make after the development cost and everything is sorted in. So let's say you're developing a game. This is just hypothetical, and it costs $10 to make the game, right? But then when you put the game on Steam, Valve is going to take $3 from that $10. So therefore, you have now made $7, but it costs you $10, right, to make the game. So you need to sell. Your profit is going to be that next 10. Let's say you sell like another game for $10, right? Subtract that 3, boom, you're in the profit. So Valve doesn't take all your profits. Valve takes 30% of every single game sale. You know what I'm saying? Of the sale, they take 30% of that. So that doesn't mean it's going to necessarily take your profits. It just means it's going to take off the top of the sale. Now, whether the game's profitable or not is based on your own development cost and and everything. So that's based on whether the game's profitable or not. So that's the difference between profit or not. They just take the game sales, like I said, every single sale, 30% on every single transaction, you know? So, then there's taxes. Yep, then there's taxes. Yep, yeah, there's also that. But once again, I'm just saying, generally just speaking, I'm not factoring in the taxes of, of what you have to pay after that. Because once again, everybody has different, when you run your own business, right? Everybody has different subtractions and workforce and, things like how much equipment did you buy? So it's obviously going to be affected. But yes, there's also, there's also taxes. Yeah, there's also taxes as well. I donated 22 to the total. You forgot to count one of my 5s. Oh, my bad. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, I didn't count one of the 5s on there. Thank you for the 22 deported. Anybody that's 22 or more, yo, combo breaks. You beat out deported. Also, we got a Noah and Mio in the house as well. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate that. Let's get that popping. Appreciate that, guys. But did Nintendo do good for the year profits-wise? I hear about price increases. Yeah, profit-wise, they were good. Profit-wise, they were solid profit-wise. Because they sold a lot of games. They sold a lot of games, so they did good profit-wise. Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green sold over 4 million. Pokemon Pocopia did 2.4 million before the end of March. Obviously, they still had all their other games, Mario Kart World, and they also had Kirby and all those games that got updates. Pokemon Legends ZA did good. So they've sold a lot of copies of games. So they did good with that. Plus the Switch 1 also still selling games. Digital, they're still selling. So they did good profit-wise. Their profits are fine. But the problem for a lot of investors was the margins. The margins were the problem for a lot of investors. Once again, I don't really get too much into margins and investment because that's not... I could, but that's boring. Like, Nintendo's is a very profitable company. They're very profitable. They're worth billions. So it's like, me talking about that doesn't really do much. It doesn't really add too much to the table because I'm a gamer. So I like to talk about what games we're going to get. Now, does profit affect the games that we get? In Nintendo's case, No, not really, because they're like a well-oiled machine, so there's always going to be profit and revenue coming in, and they're always going to be looking for ways to do more things. So it doesn't really affect us. So like when you see grifters that are trying to break down their profits or their sales, acting like we're not going to get games or something's going to happen, it's just a grift. That's all it is. It's just a grift because they're upset or whatever. At the end of the day, we're always going to get games because Nintendo's, like I said, a well-oiled machine. They always have developers working on games no matter what, and they have a massive war chest of just money. So it doesn't really matter. You know, now obviously you want the system to do well because, you know, that means you get more support. But to me, I kind of frame it this way when it comes to sales. Let the system do well. I want the system to do well so we get third-party support. So we get stuff like The Adventures of Elliot, and we get stuff like Octopath Traveler, and we get stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we get stuff like FF7 Rebirth, and we get Digimon, and we get all these games that were nowhere to be found on the Switch 1 in the first year because they think the system is going to be successful. So I frame it that way from a gamer's perspective, not from an investor perspective or from a fraud Nintendine or some of these guys Omniarts that want to sit there and act like the world is falling or something like that because they have an issue or they're grifting for money on YouTube or any of these other grifters. They're doing it that way because they have some type of bone to pick or looking to make money. I frame it in a way that's for gamers. How does this affect you? Nintendo is a multi-billion-dollar company with billions of dollars of cash and IPs that are worth way more than anybody else's IPs in the gaming industry. If you said, who has the most valuable gaming company? It's not Sony. People like to sit there and say that it's not Sony. It's not Microsoft. If you had an infinite amount of money, or let's just say, for example, Microsoft Gaming, so Xbox division, Sony's division, and Nintendo's division were all up for sale, and you had the money to buy them. There's not a soul in the world that would say, oh, like, give me Microsoft's or give me Sony's. They'd all be like, hell no, give me Nintendo, give me Mario, give me Zelda, give me Smash Brothers. Those IPs are insane. Their sales amounts are insane. Once again, Microsoft and Sony, they supplement things like with Game Pass, they supplement it with third-party games, not their own content. That what sells best is third-party games on those platforms and their distribution services. Nintendo has insane sales on individual IPs. Pokemon, they own some of that. Pokemon, most valuable IP in the world, and they own part of that. So that's the thing here, guys. I'm framing it from the way of how we look at it from a gamer and what we're going to get, not from Frodsville profits. Like, who cares? Nintendo's they're gonna make a lot of money. Nintendo makes a lot of money. The only people that are worrying about their money or what's coming in and trying to take victory laps are morons that, once again, are grifting for money. If you want to break it down for real, they're legitimately billionaires. It's like saying, oh man, Jeff Bezos lost his money in his divorce. Who gives a crap? Yeah, he lost a ton of money in his divorce, but the dude is like worth 500 billion or 200 billion. Who cares? I saw people say, oh, Bezos lost billions in his divorce. So what? Like, so what? Let's look up how much Bezos is worth. By the way, once again, he did lose billions in his. Let's look up how much Bezos is worth. Jeff Bezos net worth 281 billion. 281 billion. Oh, but he lost billions in his divorce. Oh, what is he gonna do now? Oh, what? He won't be able to eat. He only is worth 200 billion dollars. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. Who's gonna help him? These people are these profit chasers, and I'm not talking about you, but these weirdos that are trying to bring up stuff. Nintendo's, they're, like I said, they're worth billions. Who gives a crap? Let's talk about what actually affects what we get, which is the sales of the system. That's the most important thing, not their profit for this or that. That's fine for investors and all that crap. We're gamers. Let's talk about what we're going to get. They're going to do just fine. They'll be fine, like they always are. Anyway, there's a rant with that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Gabe Pobre, BR with the 10 Team Rocket dollars, and says, hey OJ, Gabe from Brazil here. I'm eager for what Nintendo is cooking for the second semester. Wish we could get a completely new IP that's not a spin-off during Switch 2 Live. A completely new IP that's not a spin-off. We'll probably get that. but it might not be good. So, I mean, Drag Cross Drive, that's a completely new IP. That's not a spin-off, and that's not very good. So, thank you for the 10, though. I appreciate it. Also, Helix with the 10 says, I've said this years ago, any company in gaming would trade their best IP for Mario. Mario King, haters gonna hate. Yes, sir. Pretty much. So pretty much, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. Couple less yachts, man. Seriously. Just want to say, I've been vindicated because Mario Tennis Fever didn't do well. It's not that you've been vindicated, Felipe. It's that now we know that, okay, we don't know where the sales are at. It can be at 999,099 for all we know. We don't know where the sales numbers are at with the game. We still don't. So you've been partially vindicated, but not completely. It'd be like me saying, okay, well, Saros didn't do well. No, we don't know if Saros did well or not. We don't have the numbers yet. But yeah, you are right, though, in the case of it didn't sell 1 million. But would that be whether it did well or not? 1 million sales? I mean, maybe, maybe not. Once again, Mario Tennis games aren't massive sellers. You and many other people tried to frame them as big sellers, but they're not. They sell anywhere between 1 million to 3 to 4 million units, and that's it. So we'll see how it does in the future. Let's see. We should lose our we should lose way more. I care about money, large amount of money, too much power. Yeah. I mean, like ARMS and Astral Chain, Drag and Drive is just a welcome tour, showcase features. Well, I mean, you said new IP that's not a spinoff, so I gave you a new IP that's not a spinoff. So I'm just saying, even if it's a big brand new IP like ARMS or something, you might not like the game. So really, let's just focus on great games coming out. I just want to see Nintendo make great games. Donkey Kong Bonanza is not a new IP. That has more new gameplay ideas and new things in it than new IPs that I've played from Microsoft and Sony. So I'm sure I'd love to get new IP. That's great, but I want great games just in general. That's really what's most important, is to get me great games more so than anything. You know, my son also likes great games. That's why he's bugging out right now. Justice for Party Man, yo, shout outs. But I see what you're saying though, Gabe. We'll see what they do. You know, we'll see what they do when it comes down to that. We'll see what they do. So I actually like the new Star Fox. Almost doesn't look like Nintendo IP. The variety of Nintendo does. More select IPs, of course. Like I said, you didn't grow up with the Super Nintendo, so to me, like in my mind, that's what Star Fox looked like in 1993. Like how the new Star Fox looks now. That's how, in my mind, I felt that Star Fox looked because of what they were going for with that game, you know, in 1993. So for me, yes, it's a long time ago, but Star Fox is one of the games that when I played originally, I was just like, wow, this game is crazy graphics, you know? So that's kind of how I feel. Let's see here. Felipe was right. Mod Felipe. We're not modding Felipe. We shouldn't care about gaming company stocks or margins. We should care about them not shutting down their studios. That's what I'm saying. I care, exactly. I frame it in the way for gamers. I don't care about Nintendo's stocks. I don't care about Nintendo's profit margins. Sure, I want them to have good profit margins so they can continue to supply great games, but I don't care if their profit margin was down 5%. Same reason why I don't talk about Sony or Microsoft's profit margins or anything like that. Who gives a crap? These are multi-billion-dollar companies, and my son is, I don't know what is going on, but he is on one right now. Anyway, sorry if you guys hear some stuff in the background. But anyway, like, I care about the games. I care about the actual games. I care about what's actually happening. That's what I care about. I care about what we get. I do not care about they made 5% more profit or this many billions dollars more profit. Okay, good for them. Good for them. That's not my concern. These are all billion dollar companies with large war chests of cash. Now, if they're going to go out of business, then okay, fine. Maybe I'll start caring about that. But none of them are going out of business anytime soon. So why should I care about their profit margin right now? They're a well-oiled machine. They make a lot. They make a ton of money. Okay, good for them. Great. Now, what are you going to do for me as a consumer in terms of what I'm getting? I don't care about your profits. Your profits are great. Good for you. Congratulations. You've built up that value. You have played the game of, it's called the economy, that I learned decades ago. You have made something very valuable that people like, that are willing to spend money on for decades now. Good for you. Great. We already know this. We've established this. I don't have to worry about whether you're going to survive or not right now. So people that are talking about profits or talking about stock prices or anything, just a bunch of fraudulent nonsense. Who cares? Unless you're an investor, unless you're investing in them, okay, that's fine. But I'm talking, even if I was investing in Nintendo, which I don't have any stocks in Nintendo, but even if I was investing, I'd still come at this from the gamer angle because I'm a gamer. And if I have a separate thing, a separate channel, or separate whatever, sure, you can come at it from a different analytical standpoint when it comes to that. But I'm most interested in how well does something do so we know that we're going to get more of it. Not they made a 15% profit margin off of this compared to a 30% profit margin off of that. I don't care. It's a profit margin. They're making money. Good. Pay the developers. No shutdowns, no layoffs, right? So that's what I'm more important about. The developers need to have their jobs. They need to feel comfortable working so then we get great games. You can't make great games if you're under duress of being fired at any moment. I'll give you guys maybe you guys have dealt with this yourself, but when I was working at my last job, I couldn't even work properly because I already had gotten written up twice. One more write-up and I'm done. So I got written up once, and then so another 2 more write-ups and I'm done. So I'm gingerly talking to people. I'm not focused because I'm worried that if I mess up, I'm gonna get written up, I'm gonna get fired. You can't work in a state like that when you're constantly worried about getting fired, or if your pay is so low you don't even feel it's worth it. You know? So that's the thing. That's what I'm more worried about. When you have developers that are spazzing or bugging out or not being paid enough, it's gonna reflect in the games, man. It really is, because they're human just like everybody else. I agree. Felt the same as a kid. Shout outs Dan Dibs. OJ, I found out wait until June to play the new Star Fox. Found out he has to wait till June to play the new Star Fox. Oh, that's why he's upset. Yeah. What if I'm a stockbroker, but you're not? Let's see. OJ, I agree. Back in the day, Star Fox looked like now. Yeah. If you take away your rose tinted goggles, yeah. Felipe, $50 portfolio on Rock. I'll buy some of Coca-Cola. I'll buy some of Nintendo, maybe. Stock dropping. Okay, I buy. Mario Tennis bag. Nah, we just messing with you, Felipe. I gotta start up my little $50 portfolio. Don't they give you like some dollars free for Robinhood or something like that, bruh? So, shout out to the homie Felipe, man. We just messing around. Let's see, we're here for the developers and the art. Yeah, man, that's what I'm here for, bro. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not with this whole weirdo type of fake, stuff like that. So, I'm not with that, man. I'm not with it at all. So, all right. Any other topics you guys want to get to? You guys can tag me at PlayerEssence, #PlayerEssence. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff here, guys. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys all coming out to today's stream too, as well, man. Appreciate that. Did we talk about PS6 price? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Yeah, good stuff, Projo. Yeah, let's talk about... Actually, let me go on my Twitter page. I updated all the news. I was up till 4 a.m. reporting all the news. So... This has got to be the funniest thing today, man. PlayStation says it's the best place to play and the best place to publish. This is not news that, yes, a CEO of the company that you're working for says that it's the best place to play. Whoa! Wow, really? Wow, I'm gonna say wow. Hold on. I got it. Wow. I'm surprised he didn't say Nintendo. I'm really surprised. He didn't didn't say Nintendo. Nintendo was. Crazy. Anyway. How is that even an article? Oh my gosh, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Anyway, so let's go over some stuff here. We've got the PlayStation 6 situation that's happening. So Andy Robinson reports that Sony says it hasn't yet decided on the release date and price for PS6 and is running various simulations, including potentially changing business models as it concerns its strategy. I'm guessing what they mean by changing business models is offering a layaway program to where you can upfront buy the PS6 for, like, let's just say $300 or $400 upfront, and then they'll debit it out of your account, like you buy directly through PlayStation or through like a store, and then like every single month they'll debit some out of your account, like a payment plan type of thing. Microsoft had that, like a layaway program with the Xbox 360 to varying levels of success, but I'm guessing that could be like changing business models. That would be a change of business model, because the PS6 is going to be too expensive. It just is. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And I said that here. I said I don't know how Sony's going to have price the PS6 affordable. The component prices aren't going down anytime soon. Sony's management has a very tall and difficult task ahead of them. So that is the case. We also have this here. Sony's going full AI as well. Sony to partner with Bandai Namco for generative AI. We are currently engaged We are currently engaged in a collaborative pilot initiative with Bandai Namco Holdings to explore how generative AI and the latest technologies can most effectively contribute to realizing a creator's vision. So I put, looks like Sony's going all in with generative AI for the end of the PS5 and PS6. So this comment was crazy when it comes to PlayStation, because Tom Warren says Sony PS5 sales plummet amid price rises and a memory crisis. PS5 sales dropped 46% year over year. So this is what got people pretty mad, that he stated that they dropped 46% year on year, which it's true. Sales did drop 46% year on year, and year on year is always used. I don't like, Tom Warren has definitely been off on some things that he reports when it comes to Nintendo, but that's when it's speculation on what Nintendo said that I've had an issue with. I've never had an issue with him just reporting on things, but sometimes his opinions, like speculation, that have ended up being wrong, that I say, wait a minute, what's going on here? But if you report on actual like facts, not just speculation, that's fine, because Sony's sales did drop 46% year on year. They sold, in the Q4 of 2025, they sold 2.8 million. In Q4 of 2026, they sold 1.5 million. That is a 46% drop year on year. That is factual. But people had a problem with that. People went crazy on that one. So year on year is a thing. Now, is year on year everything? No, year on year is not everything. And the reason why year on year is not everything, because as you gain new users and as you gain more games, and people, or as certain games come out, you might have a more profitable quarter than you did before. So sure, you didn't do as well as the last quarter. Okay, the system's older, but you made more money selling more Fortnite packets or Fortnite microtransactions or Marvel Rivals skins or whatever, right? So that doesn't mean that your business isn't doing well because you have a drop year on year in sales, but it is the truth. They did have a 46% drop year on year on sales. That's it. But people went nuts in the comment section. I can't even show you guys some of the stuff that they were saying. I just said the comment section here is going absolutely crazy. And I put a death thing on there just because they were. I read some of the comments and people were going nuts. There's a lot of people who don't understand year on year. A lot of people who don't understand year on year. They don't understand what year on year is. They don't understand that. So then they say, wait a minute, but what about this? Or what about this? Or what about this? It's like, no, that's not what it means. It just means last year in the same quarter. That's all that means. So next year, okay, or even later this year, we're going to get year on year for the Switch 2, which is probably going to be down year on year. So June Like whenever we get the sales numbers for June with the Switch 2, it's probably going to be down a lot year on year because that was the launch. So yes, it's going to be down significantly year on year. Doesn't mean the business isn't doing well because they have way more systems out there in the wild now. They have way more games out there in the wild now. They're making more money off the games, but it is going to be down year on year, you know? But that's because once again, launch year compared to non-launch year. But obviously year on year within the first year or two doesn't really mean too much. But when you're into year 3, 4, 5, 6, year on year is relevant somewhat, just to see what's the hardware adoption rate. How did you do last year compared to this year? Does it matter in the grand scale of things? No, not that much, you know, but that is true what he said. But people are taking it too much when it comes down to that, because profitability wise, they were fine, you know? So there's that. Anyway, so Genki had this here. He talked about more of their AI stuff. So PlayStation CEO Hideki Nishino gave an entire presentation about AI in games to investors. Says AI is a powerful tool to deliver cutting-edge entertainment experiences. AI usage examples mention AI performance capture facial animation, AI hair animation, AI racing agent in Gran Turismo, AI NPCs with their own personalities, AI tools for payments and transactions, AI upscaler PSSR, AI for repetitive workflows, AI for QA. That's going to get a lot of quality and assurance people fired right there. That's going to take jobs right there. AI tools for 3D modeling and animation. That's also going to take people's jobs potentially. You're not going to need as many modelers and all that when you can just use AI. AI to help studios realize their creative vision. AI to make generative things to help reduce time. That's what that means right there. Generative AI that takes assets that are already available, retools and retweaks them to be able to get things done significantly faster. That's let me help the corporate speak on that one. That's essentially that's generative AI that people have a big problem with, right? A lot of people have a big problem with generative AI. I have not made any negative videos or anything on generative AI just because whatever, man, it is what it is, so whatever. But that's what that means. AI to increase production efficiency. So AI to help mitigate the mundane things in order to make games faster. So that's essentially what they said there. So I just put up a little snarky tweet, of course, and I said, I'm guessing the mainstream gaming media and gamers will be just fine now, just fine with AI now that Sony's doing it. And that's pretty much what's happening. Everyone's just accepting it. They're just saying it's okay. They have no problem with it. So, I mean, it is what it is. We already know. I already knew this was going to happen. So, yeah. That's that. All right. I have no idea what the price of the PS6 is going to be. I do not know at all. Well, it's definitely going to help them ship games faster. It's absolutely going to. AI can help you dude, listen. Think about it for a second. Anything that you can do with AI, they can do 10 times better. Think about it for a second. If I really wanted to, I could AI script everything. I can go into the AI and I can say, hey, give me a 15-minute video talking about video game history. The AI will just pull things from what everybody's already done and give me a 15-minute script. I can read off that script, I can edit it, or I can use AI to edit it where it matches what's being said with it, and I can just refine it and release it. Now, I don't do that, but my Power Director is literally built with AI to do all of that. I can generate AI for everything. Thumbnails, scripts, graphics, everything. And I pay $100 a month for a editor. Think about what they're doing with AI. I can do all that with AI if I wanted to. I can be a VTuber with the AI generated avatar. I can do whatever I want with AI from an editing perspective. I could make things significantly easier for myself if I generated AI scripts and all that for games in Star Fox. Like, I can do all sorts of stuff with AI if I felt like it. I don't, because I'm old and I'm not there yet. Will I incorporate it in the future? I don't know. Maybe not. But right now, the AI on my editor is okay. I think something just changed, but I think I'm all right. The AI on my editor is like it like messes up. It crashes my editor too much. Now, if I really felt like it, I can get my laptop, run Windows 11, and I know it navigates better with Windows 11 than it does Windows 10. So I could just do it off my laptop that I have, my Lenovo. But I don't feel like it because I think that's weird. So I still script out everything myself. I still do all my own words. I still do all my own scripts. I still edit all my own stuff. But if I really felt like it, I could do it, and I can improve my workflow by a million. I can get you guys 3 videos a day, 4 videos a day. If I felt like I'm not going to do that, you know? But I don't feel like it. I'm old. I'm still old school, you know? AI isn't great. It can only provide a script long enough for a second amount of characters unless you're paying a lot of money. Oh, no. AI can give you a whole thing. Oh, they can give you so much different stuff, man. They can give you so much different stuff, bro. It can do a lot, bro. It can do a lot. No gaming history tops mine. Yo, shout out to Paul Gale. What's good? Will Dreamcast guy call them out? You guys let me know. Let me know. Will Dreamcast guy call them out? Let's see if he says anything. Let's see if he says anything with that, you know? Do you agree with Christopher Dring that Nintendo should release more new games on Switch 1? Nah, that's a bad idea, because if you're looking at their revised forecast for 16.5 million, it still says that they're gonna, that they need Switch 2 exclusives to hit that, right? They're going conservative, so no, you're gonna need more reasons for people to buy the Switch 2 in the first place. So I disagree with that. Nintendo Prime also felt very strongly against that, and he's pretty tame when it comes to certain stuff, and he felt to the point to where he quote tweeted it. I just said, no, I don't think so. But I'm gonna ease up on Christopher Drink. I don't think he's a bad person. I'm gonna ease up on him a lot. I'm not gonna be as negative as I was before, regardless of what he says. Even though I disagree heavily with that, I'm gonna ease up. So yeah, there you go. It says leave the Switch 1 alone. Yeah, leave it alone. We don't need to be going back. Now, if they want to make like small games, like let's say they want to, I don't know, put like what can they put on there? I'm not sure. They want to demake Splatoon Raiders or something like that. Sure, you do that. I don't care. But like, I don't think they should be, worrying about Switch 1 when they're making Switch 2 games. I think they should potentially maybe, if they have like maybe some old games that you bring over or something, or NSO stuff. But I don't think they need to be worrying too much about Switch 1. Yeah. Like Mario versus Donkey Kong, or like indie style games like Snipper Clips 2. Yeah, like if you want to do like Snipper Clips 2, or if you want to do like a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of a game, and like that's a re-release for Switch 1 technically, right? So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, that's sure, but like not like brand new games and all that, Yeah, Brain Academy, things like that. That's fine. Deported with the $2 says, don't ease up, go ham on him. Nah, I'm easing up, man. I don't think he's a bad guy. When it comes to what he says, and honestly, it is what it is. Shout out to Deported. Thank you for the 2, man. I appreciate that. Let's go. They can do Wind Waker and Twilight Princess double pack. Okay, you've told me 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I hear you, Infernal. Yeah, I think that they can do that. Maybe the 40th anniversary presentation or something like that. Yo, what's up, Mario 2267? What's good, fam? Rhythm Heaven is more of a generous, more than generous for a nail in the coffin for Switch 1. They'll be all right, man. If they want new gen Pokemon at $450, they got 4 whole months to make it happen. Let's keep it a buck. I mean, yeah, once again, everybody's money situation is very different. Now, I planned very well ahead of time to be able to buy a lot of stuff because I knew I was going to be buying games at $70. I mean, I'm happy now it's a bit cheaper for some of the games, but I knew that I was gonna be buying games at $70 or $60 or whatever, right? So I did a lot of things. I saved a bit, I sold my Steam Deck. I did a lot of stuff in order to be able to be comfortable to afford it while being able to get all my other stuff done too. A lot of people don't think that way. They don't think ahead of time. They just say, okay, well, I don't have much, or I don't have this, so I can't do anything. But yeah, man, like, here's what I'll say, man. Here's what I'll say. When it comes to life, we all have a purpose in life of what we feel, right? what we want. We're talking about family, materialistic, job, whatever the case is. When I was young, man, like maybe it's just because obviously I wanted to play like football or NFL, whatever, but aside from that, just the general thing, there were three things that I always wanted. There was three things that I always wanted. I wanted my own house. Okay, I didn't have to be a mansion, but I just wanted my own house. I wanted to be able to run the air conditioner whenever I wanted, because I grew up here in Central California, and my dad, dude, he would not use the air conditioner, and there'd be times when it'd be like legitimately 100 degrees inside the house, and we have to like open the refrigerator, take ice, put ice on my head. Like it would just be dead hot. Like I play a video game in my room, it is just scorching hot, and we were not allowed to touch that air conditioner, man. Like we'd have to be dying to touch that air conditioner. I don't even recall a time of using the air conditioner, and that was for like decades when I lived in my parents' house, you know, a decade plus. So that's another thing that I wanted. And then the third thing that I wanted was just get me like a nice like wife with a big butt. So like those were like the three things that I wanted. So I've got that, and I said I was gonna do whatever I can to, you know, like get those things. You know, I was gonna work as hard as possible. Oh, and I said, okay, well, one more thing. Actually, the fourth thing was be able to buy any game that I want, be able to afford video games, because I grew up poor. I grew up not being able to like buy games normally. My parents had to buy games for me, and when they did buy games for me, it was very sparse, especially in the Super Nintendo and 64 era. By the GameCube era, I was old enough and I started working. I was able to like buy my own stuff. But in the NES, Super Nintendo, and some of the N64 era, I couldn't. I started being able to afford stuff in the N64 era at the very end. So for me, those were the four things that I wanted. So I said I was gonna do whatever I can to be able to get those things that I want, you know? And I think that there's a lot of people that don't think that way. They don't think they see it as some type of eternal struggle when it comes to being able. You gotta lock in. And I know the economy is the economy, but you really gotta lock in if you want what you want. If that's video games, or if that's your own house, or that's whatever, man. Like you've got tools, you've got AI. Use it. If you gotta use AI in order to, you know, start your own business, or in order to do YouTube, or in order to do Twitter, grift, whatever. Do what you got to do so you can afford what you want, instead of sitting there being a struggle gamer your whole life. We got people that are in their 30s sitting there talking about $50. Like, nah, fam. And if you're a child, okay. But if you're in your 30s or your 40s, you got to get it together. It's a video game. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm telling you to go buy a house. I get it. Houses are expensive. Who has 20% to go on a house that's going to cost $400, $500, $1 million? I get that. I'm not never going to hit anybody on that. But when it comes to video games, guys, you gotta lock in. You gotta lock in, bruh. You gotta lock in. Listen, I did. I got my air conditioner. Air conditioner is expensive as hell too, by the way, over here in the Central Valley. It's expensive. It's expensive, but you gotta lock in. You can't be sitting here crying and complaining your whole life about video game prices. 30 years old, 40 years old, crying about video games. Like, you gotta lock in, bruh. Like, let's just keep it a buck. And like I said, I'm not talking about food. I get it with food. I get it with gas. I get it with electricity. I get it with houses. Hey, take your time. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, but when it comes to buying some video games, to where you're going to sit there and say, oh, why are they $50? Like, bro, come on. Come on. Nah. You got to lock in. That's on you. If you can't afford a $50 game, or if you think that's too expensive, that's on you. That's not on nobody else but you. If you're in your 30s and you can't lock in and afford a $50 game, that's on you. That's on nobody else. I get it when it comes to a house. I get it when it comes to certain foods or traveling. I get that. Most people can't do it. It's tough. But if you can't afford regular games that you want to buy throughout the year, and you have to complain and cry in your 30s, I don't feel sorry for you. If you're in your 30s, remember, I was broke all the way in my 20s. I did not have money for stuff. Okay, you got to keep that in mind. And I lived in one of the most expensive eras for video games, between the NES, the Super NES, and the N64. The prices for those games were insane, adjusted for inflation. You make $3 an hour, games cost $60, or even up to 80 sometimes. Shout outs to Deported, and thank you, Nick with the jewels. Deported with the 2 says, hold up. What was that third? This is a family channel. It is a family channel. There's nothing wrong with wanting a very beautiful wife with a nice, shapely body. There you go. A very beautiful wife with a nice shapely body. That's what I would like. That's what I wanted. I was able to get that. Paul Gale with the $2 dono too. Shout outs, man. I appreciate that. And he says, you made it happen, OJ. How about Star Fox Zero? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's not like I said, I'm not rich. I'm not like, oh my God, I got so much. Nah, not at all. You know, not at all. But you got to prioritize what's important to you, you know? Even when I was broke, I still somehow afforded games. Like in the Wii U era, I don't recall ever having money. Somehow I was still buying Wii U, 360, and PS3 games. I have no idea, bro. All right. Thank you for the support, though, guys. I appreciate that. Let's get that here on the board. 91. Shout outs, guys. I appreciate that. Stay hydrated. 6-7. Oh, stay hydrated. Oh, 550 joules. Thank you for the 550 joules. Nick, by any chance, I don't know how it all works, but do you know how much that is? I appreciate the 550 joules and the 67 joules. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. Let's go. That's a lot of joules. Thank you for the joules, brother. Let's see. OJ, did you see that Sony lost millions with Bungie? Yeah, they did. Bungie definitely was a bad acquisition. I don't think there's anything that, unless they can get Destiny 3 out soon, Bungie was a bad acquisition. It was not a good acquisition for Sony. I don't think it was a good acquisition. Look, all things considered, you know, all things considered down at this point, I don't think it was a good acquisition, because it looks like they're losing a lot of money with them. So that's the problem. $700 is $10. Okay, that's a lot, man. Thank you so much, dude. That is a lot, Nick. Thank you for the big dono, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, 700. So he sent over like what, 600 something. So yeah, it's like almost $10. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Let's see here. A jewel penny, I believe. Oh, not exactly. Okay, I'm not even sure. Either way, any jewels that I get, thank you guys for the jewels. I appreciate that. Thank you. People forget, average N64 game in the 90s was priced at $70. Yeah, they were expensive, man. I couldn't afford them. You had to wait. In those days, you would wait for them to become like the greatest hits, or you'd wait for them to buy it used, or you would just buy it off a friend or yard sale or something like that, or like GameStop or Funko Land. I mean, I rarely ever bought games brand new back then, just because why, you know? I remember even in the GameCube era, when I could have, like, I never bought stuff new. Like, unless it was like a game that I was really excited for, I would buy new, like Resident Evil 4, certain games, Star Fox, whatever. Yeah, I bought those new when I could. Yes, I bought like God of War, whatever, right? I bought all those, but like when I first started getting a little, like I was working at McDonald's, like when I first started getting some money, like yeah, I just go buy games. I would trade in games and buy games. Like sometimes I'd buy games new, like trade in some games, buy some stuff new, but I'd buy a lot of used games too. Cause like, why not? You just look at the game, it looks good, it works, comes with everything. You just buy that and you're good, you know? So that was like a big thing in the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, and even before then, used games were like a big thing. Nintendo and Microsoft, well, Nintendo and Sony hated it. They hated it. Oh my God, they hated it. They hated it so much. But now they've been able to mitigate it by making digital. By doing digital, that's helped mitigate the used game market, because before in the past it was only, you could buy games only physical. There was no other option, with very few exceptions here and there. But now at this point, obviously with hard drives and with internet and instant access, a lot of people just, they don't want to even go out there and get the game. They just want to have it right there on their, right away. So they've been able to, so they're not as crazy on the used game market, because it's like, well, we got digital now. That makes up for it. If I was broke, gaming would be an afterthought. I mean, it is and it isn't, because I remember being broke and like it was definitely not an afterthought. But yeah, if I'm in my 30s and I'm sitting there crying about you know, $50 games or $60 games or just games in general, like the prices of games. Like if you're that age and like that's like constantly a thing for you to where I can't get that, then yeah, you gotta lock in, you know, you gotta lock in a bit. You gotta lock in, you know? Yeah, 30, you got to get your life together. $50 is not that much for a game. No, it's really not for a quality game. No, definitely not that much for like a game. So, magazines. Yeah, we definitely had magazines back in the day too. OJ, hope that's all good. I'm looking forward to Switch 2 Star Fox game. I wonder if we'll get a chance to play as James McLeod. That would be nice if there was like something in there. I don't think that it's going to have that, but yeah, I think that's the thing. They're definitely going to. There's the prologue, but we'll see what they do because depending on like what ending you get in. Well, I don't want to spoil the game. I know it's an old game, but yeah, there could be some new stuff that plays out, right? But we'll see. We will see when it comes to that. So, yesterday I spent $60 approximately in gas or gas $50 for a game. I think it's dull, bro. I gotta fill up my tank today, bro, and it's gonna be the gas here is $6 in California, like in busier areas of California. It's freaking $6 a gallon, man. So thankfully I work from home. So it is what it is, man. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Gas has been rough, especially with my 90-mile round trip. Tell me you have like a gas card, Nick. You have like some type of cash back or gas card. Please tell me that you've invested in that. Please tell me, because you're in a, I think, more expensive area than I'm in. So please tell me you invested in a gas card or something. 90 miles round trip? Yeah. You gotta get a gas card. $5.95 on... The fact that it's $5.95 at Costco, that's how you know it's bad, dude. $5.95 at Costco? In Fresno? In Fresno. That's crazy. At Costco. That's supposed to be the best place to go, or one of the better places. He says walk or ride a bike, find job close. Yeah, not everybody can do that, man. Not everybody can do that. Walk? You can't walk 90 miles. You'd have to leave hours before your shift. And you'd be exhausted. You'd probably be tired by the time that you get there. Never mind, people drive like idiots. You're probably going to end up getting ran over at some point. So that's a bad idea. He's talking about he has to cross a bridge toll. Walking and riding a bike is a death sentence. That is a death sentence. You will definitely die if you walk a 90 miles round trip. Somebody will hit you. Plain and simple. Somebody will hit you at some. You will not survive that if you do that for an extended period of time.
What's up? I feel vindicated that I said Nintendo should not have sold Mario Kart World for $80 and Mario Tennis Fever for $70 lol. On a serious note, Very disappointed that Nintendo decided to do that to both my Mario games and cause bad PR and hit on sales.
Exactly, and that's what I said from the beginning. It was a bad PR hit to even start with, especially with Mario Kart World. There's no need. It could have just, both of them just could have been the 70, 60, or even Mario Kart or Mario Tennis, just 60. Just, there's no need to take the bad PR on it, man. There's no need. So maybe they'll change it in the future. I hope that they do. Thank you for the 5 party, man. Thank you for the Ninja Pizza. I appreciate it. Says, yeah, gas here is $3.85, $3.99, usually $2.50. Yeah, that's big, man. You're in like the South, right? Or like Midwest or South. If you can just get a job a couple feet, I'm talking about him. Most people can't just find jobs close to them, man. Right now, it's tough to even find a job in the first place. So a lot of people just can't find jobs close to them. To be honest, like if I was still doing my trade of what I do, I mean, I don't know if there'd be anything close to me either. I'd probably have to commute to Los Angeles or commute up north to Fresno or something for a job. Like for me to actually get a good job. So if I was doing like, you know, kinesiology or communication, like, or working at like an ad agency or something like that, I'd have to go to Los Angeles. I'd have to go to Fresno for that. Because pretty much when I was coming out of college, that's where all the jobs were. Here where I live, it's more like oil and it's like food, oil, and like, you know, insurance sales and just like sales, like certain like car sales, insurance sales. And I'm not really a specialist in any of those areas. So I'd probably have to move, or not move, but I'd probably have to commute or move, you know, commute or move, one of those two, to a probably more expensive area to live. So it's just not that easy, simple, just to be like, oh, just get a job closer. It's not that simple for everybody, you know? Yeah, Party Man right now. Party Man, you invest in a gas you invest in a gas card, Party Man? Yeah, job market's not good right now. Yeah, Mr. Ips, I can see your comments, man. What's good, man? How you doing today? Just got off work? Hey, there you go. You need to, yeah, invest in a gas card, dude. Definitely get a gas card, or invest in like a credit card that gives you cash back. Like, it's either one of those two. Like, you should never, if you're someone that commutes, you should never not have some type of reward card, right? Like, because like you're always going to be getting gas anyway. So you should definitely have like a Chase reward credit card or like a Capital One cashback card. You should never just pay out of your pocket for gas. It should always be some type of cashback card. Don't just get eaten up on that, you know, because if you're spending hundreds of dollars on money of gas in a month, if you have like a rewards card, you might be able to get 50, 60 bucks back, you know, on that. So don't just pay for it straight up, you know. This is Oklahoma oil and gas is a big deal here from a business standpoint, so we're pretty cheap. Yeah, that's true. Oil's a big thing here. We're not cheap. But you guys have it more though. But still, that's still way more than what it usually is for you. So, but yeah, you're lucky to be in a place that's a bit better. But we're on, California is just crazy. What would your max commute for a job? My max commute? I think farthest that I would go for my commute for a job, the farthest I'd go is like an hour. The farthest I'd go is, I mean, like Fresno is about an hour and a half. I mean, like, I would consider Fresno, but the job would have to pay well. Like, or I would consider Los Angeles, but Los Angeles, like the driving to Los Angeles is a lot. Like that's about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. But like, I don't want to deal with Los Angeles traffic, so they'd have to pay me way more for me to commute like that. It'd have to be a lot. Fresno, I would take a little bit less, but it'd still be like a lot, you know? It would still have to be like a good amount for me to deal with like that, because like traffic going up north is a lot less than traffic going south. So you know, it depends on, you know, which way I'm going, and it depends on how much they're paying, you know? Pacopia was 70 digital and it sold. That's true. Pacopia was 70 digital, but Pacopia is like it's like a monumental game, right? Like it's a monumental game. It's very, very, like it hit a niche, and people felt that there was more value in a game like Pacopia, obviously, over a game like Mario Tennis. Yeah, and it was a game key card, true. I agree. But the thing about, once again, Pocopia, it's one of those games to where you're probably going to want to have it in your system all the time. So it was able to break past some of the issues that people had, you know? Well, Mario Tennis, if they would have waited for it to be, or if they would have implemented their new pricing program, it probably would have been 60-50 or 70-60. Yeah, it doesn't. Although I'll be honest, man, before Pocopia came out, I thought Mario Tennis might have. I mean, because I didn't know how much Pocopia was going to sell. I didn't know Pocopia was going to do as well as it did. I felt that it could do good, though. I felt that it could do good, but I didn't know how well it was going to do. I'll keep it a buck. I did it, you know? Hopefully Assault comes on the GameCube alongside the new release. Should we get we should feel like we're getting some on foot action. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna come out. Although Nintendo did mention Star Fox Assault, so the fact that they mentioned Star Fox Assault makes me believe that they're actually gonna do it at some point. And I don't know if it's gonna be alongside the release of it, but it does make me think that they're gonna release Star Fox Assault, or sorry, Star Fox. No, sorry. Yeah, they did say Star Fox Assault, right? Did they say Star Fox Assault, or did they skip in that presentation? I think they skipped Star Fox Assault. I think they said Star Fox Adventures. I think they skipped Assault, didn't they? Or did they not skip? I don't remember. In that Nintendo Direct, did they? I don't know if they skipped Assault or not. But yeah, we'll see. I was saying on the GameCube Online, they skipped Assault. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that the fact that they skipped Assault, that doesn't give me confidence that they're gonna release Assault on the NSO. I think they're probably gonna release Adventures on the NSO. I don't know if they're gonna release Assault, since they didn't even talk about it. They could have easily added Assault in there, and they didn't. So, OJ, do you want to talk about the Nash speaking a little bit more GTA Switch 2? Yeah, we can talk about that. I actually have it right here. So give me just 1 second. Let me get through some more of these comments for sure, House King. Have you been to the Nintendo store in San Francisco? I have. Nintendo invited me for the launch of the Switch 2, like to get the system a little early and to play some games. And they serve this really fancy food. Do they carry any items that are exclusive to the on-site location opposed to the Nintendo store online? They might, but I don't know for sure. Damn. Nintendo can't be selling Mario sports titles for 70. None of the sell like that. I wonder if they'll rethink the Golfer Strikers. They absolutely will think. I mean, pretty much everything's been rethought, right? They absolutely will. I don't see Mario Tennis being. I see Mario Tennis honestly being 60-50. I think they're just gonna go and just say, hey, look, you know, we're just gonna. I think they're definitely gonna go 60-50, or they might go 70-60, but I think they're gonna go 60-50. But we'll see. If they go 60-50, or if they go 70-60, that'll be fine, because then it'll be digital 60, and then Walmart and Amazon will price match it at 60. So then 60 will be fine for the game, you know? So. Let's see here. Hey, OJ, I did a video on grifting yesterday saying that there's no reason for name calling of people just to enjoy games. Got hammered. So be nice to pick my battles. No, it's all good. 91 Gamer Boy, bro. Like I said, just make, if I were you, man, the best thing to do is to just make content on stuff that you like. You know, if you like a certain game or you like something, just make content on that. You know, don't worry about what other people are saying, you know? Nash Weedle with the Nash Weedle with the GTA 6, not GTA 2. Nash Weedle with the update on Switch 2 when it comes to GTA 6. So once again, listen, guys, I'm not gonna make any videos. Well, I might talk about this, but it's Nash Weedle, so take it with a grain of salt, right? So he says he had two different things. He had an update last year in November of 2025 talking about GTA on Switch 2. So then he quote tweeted that, and this was about 9 hours ago, and he talked about GTA update on Switch 2. The information I have is that they're still working on the Switch 2 version. They tell me it might arrive alongside the rest of the versions, but I don't trust that, and I think it'll come later. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt that. I don't think the Switch 2 logo will show up in the game trailer 3. Rockstar will want want the conversations to focus on the technical potential, gameplay, etc., and not have them veer off. I'm aware that technically it's an impossible port, but how many times have we heard that? Yeah, I don't even think it's really an impossible port. It's just if they want to do it, they'll do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't even think it's that, oh, reduce the crowd density. Okay, reduce volumetric lighting here. And just reduce some stuff and it'll work. Get it at 30 FPS with some dips, it'll be fine. Maybe like the Xbox Series S version. So, yeah, I don't even think it's impossible port. But it's not like it's gonna be nothing though. Like, it'd be like just super easy. But it's not a super easy game to make on really on any platform. So, yeah, I do think that GTA 6 is going to come to Switch 2, but I'm like 50-50 on it. Like, I think it's definitely possible, you know? Just because if you're looking at the amount of system sales that we have right now, it's just not that much that they're usually used to this far into the era. So, yeah. Let's see here. Agreed. I'll keep my videos unboxing and showing off collections. Speaking of which, love Pragmata so far. Hey, there you go. There you go, man. Just do that. Getting into the whole grifter angle and all that, it's stupid. You know, it's not worth the time or effort. Something tells me it'll be very hard to port because Take-Two themselves had difficulties porting Borderlands 4. Well, they didn't care about porting Borderlands 4. Could they do it? Of course they can do it. They obviously did not care enough. They didn't want to focus on it because the game already had many issues. They didn't do a great job, just like their Steam Deck verification for Borderlands. I mean, that's on a weaker system than the Switch 2. They just said, all right, they barely even optimized that thing for the Steam Deck. So, but it's on there. Let's see here. The file size for the problem for GTA 6 on Switch 2. We don't even know what the file size is for Xbox and PlayStation right now. So let's see on that. Because there is still stuff like Rebirth coming. So let's see what the file size is just in general. I tagged you on a post about digital games on PS5, all crying about game key cards and PS, Xbox, PC about 85%, 85 to 100% digital only. Yeah, I mean, one of those things, like I said, you guys got to remember, it's a very small minority of people that talk about this type of stuff, like physical versus digital. Most people just buy whatever they want. They don't care. I think they care because they did a partnership with Nintendo. I don't think they care. I don't think they cared that much. I think once the game had problems on Xbox and PlayStation, that partnership and what they said, that obviously went out the window. So, if they cared, they would have got the game finished and done. They would have got the game finished and done. Once again, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's a massive current gen open world game that's coming to the Switch 2. They're getting it done. All right. So look at Elden Ring. Yes, that got delayed, but they got Elden Ring. They're getting that one done. It looks a lot better. It plays a lot better than it did from the new update that we got from GDC. So, no, they clearly do not care as much. Which Take-Two even said themselves. They said that they're not really prioritizing it. So it is what it is, you know? You think Zelda Switch 2 leak is real? Of course it is. Just like the Star Fox leak was real. Let's see here. I'm talking about Take-Two themselves. Yeah, that's the same company. What do you mean? I don't think Take-Two cares about the Switch 2 that much. No, I don't think they care. I don't think Gearbox cares that much. I don't think Take-Two cares that much. No, I don't. Got two questions got to ask you with this game. Make a video. Played Night Nier Automata PC. How's it going with this game? Nier Automata on PC. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mr. Davis. Page says the price increase is a mistake. I think it will bomb Switch 2 sales. Nah, I probably won't. Not based off of what, not based on the projections so far at this point. No, it won't. But I mean, if you want to take an over/under that they hit their sales target or not, you want to do that? You want to put some money? 16.5 million. So you think it's going to sell significantly less than that? Let's see, places. You never answered my question. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I'll be honest, Mr. Davis. Like, I have no idea what that means, what you just said. Everything should be cheaper since we own nothing, but they're not. And that's for things outside of gaming. Yeah. I don't know if somebody can decipher what Mr. Davis said. Please let me know. I have no idea what he said, what he meant by that. I'm curious on if the big Nintendo games will go 80 or not, despite the price increase for Switch 2. Probably not related, but maybe offer 60, 70. Yeah, I think they really should think about that and make sure that they don't do 80. Just don't do 80. There's no need. There's no need. The whatever you make off of that is not worth it. And you also look at it, you know, a lot of the Mario Kart World bundles been phased out. Mario Kart World sold, I mean, it didn't sell bad for the quarter. Actually sold pretty decently. Sold about another, you know, about a little bit under 700,000 units. And those were already being kind of phased out and harder to find from this year. So people were buying it, and it's number 2 on the, like, it was high on the eShop. So people are buying it at 80. But I think that, you know, obviously having it at 70 would be a lot better. Having it at 70, 60 would be ideal. You know, that would just be ideal, you know, 100% ideal. So I think they should revert, they should pivot on that one. I hope that they do, actually. Just pivot and change it. There's no point in saying, oh, and sticking to it when you've pivoted on everything else. Like when it comes to the game prices, right? The 70, 60. So just go ahead and reverse that too while you're at it. Technically, the first year of the Switch 2 isn't done yet. Technically, it's not. The first year of the Switch 2 ends. Would be June. June would be the first year of the Switch 2. So that would be through the end of this month, essentially, sales-wise. Yeah, but I don't see a Nintendo system bombing, like flopping with Pokemon. Somebody said Pokemon wins in waves. Like, that's actually never happened in the history of Nintendo, so I'm not gonna predict that now. Like a Pokemon game, Pokemon Wins and Waves, is gonna be obviously a brand new, unique Pokemon game built for the Switch 2. There is no system ever in the Nintendo's history that has a built, unique Pokemon game where the system's flopped completely. That's never happened. So I mean, Pei Uchiha, nah, man, that's not happening. I love hacking and leveling up abilities in Pragmata. Just got the multi-hack. I'm going to go crazy with that one. Hey, there you go. Next 3D Mario game, we'll wait and see if it's 80. Well, yeah, I think we'll find out this year. Obviously, stuff like the Dust Bloods, you know, stuff like Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. We'll see about, you know, the next Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. We'll see about that, you know. So, I think if Ocarina of Time remake is 70, then I think it's... Once again, you still have to wait for that Mario, right? You still have to wait for that 3D Mario. So we'll see. Fire Red and Leaf Green even matched Pocopia's sales, which is wild. Yes and no. It was out for a little bit longer. Pocopia was out for shorter, so the timelines didn't quite match up. Yeah, it sold about this. They said over 4 million each of them, but Pocopia was out shorter. So didn't quite pace the same, but yeah, definitely, like, obviously right around there. I do think Pocopia, I mean, might outsell it, but you also have to factor in this. Pocopia is only on the Switch 2, which is, you know, the install base is around, what, 19 million now? Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green is on the Switch 1 with 150 million. So while obviously Fire Red and Leaf Green, that's good, Pocopia's sales are insane, all things considered. 4 million units on an install base of 19 million? That is wild. And not bundled with the system? That is wild. In 5 weeks? That's really good. So Switch 2 is going to be $50 more? Yes, starting September 1st. Well, it depends on where you live, too. I think 30 euros more. Japan, I think it's 10,000 yen more. Have you ever seen Nintendo reduce a price for a game that wasn't a sale? I mean, yeah, in the past, yeah, we had the greatest hits, or we had Player's Choice in the past, so yeah. With Smash, are you leaning more towards new game or Switch 2 expansion? Yeah, I've talked about that. I actually just made a video on that, Will Banks, so, I mean, I don't know, it's 50-50 right now, but check out my video if you haven't seen it. I've covered that in depth multiple times now, but I actually just did a video talking about that, so if you want my full breakdown of it, check it out on the channel. That was on May 5th, so that was about 3 days ago. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell, watch my vids when they come up. I answer all these type of questions, like with Smash Brothers and stuff. I make videos on all this stuff, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I think it's 50-50 right now, but that's the full details there. But we've already discussed that to death at this point, you know? Copia's sales are amazing, and also Tomodachi. Tomodachi Life sales actually might be more impressive than both of them, because within the first 2 weeks, Tomodachi Life sold 3.8 million. So that is very, 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 very good. That is incredibly good. That is a lot better than like big AAA games, you know. So that's crazy. Like Pragmata, for example. You know, Pragmata, the first 2 weeks, 2 million on, you know, multi-platform. Whereas Tomodachi Life, first 2 weeks, 14 days compared to 16 days, 3.8 million. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. That's a crazy amount. So yeah, there you go. There's that. All right. So, let's see here. That's half the sales numbers of that's half the sales of Tomodachi on the 3DS. Yeah, half the sales of Tomodachi on the 3DS. That is it. Tomodachi Life beat out the entirety of Metroid Dread in 2 weeks. So I was on Twitter, of course, like always, because I'm always editing and I'm bored sometimes. And people were like trying to argue with me. Oh, Metroid Prime 4. Oh, they did it all. I'm like, yo, can y'all finally realize that Metroid Prime is not popular? That's why when Nintengod or Barrett or whatever you want to say, whoever he is, was like, oh, I see Metroid Prime selling like 5-6 million. I'm like, bro, like it'd be lucky to sell 2 or 3 million. Like 4, if it gets to 4 million, that'd be lucky. But like 2 or 3, I'm kind of estimating somewhere in that range lifetime. It's Metroid Prime. There's no Metroid Prime games that ever individually sell that. So it's like people, for some reason, they think that Metroid Prime is it's gonna have some type of breakout success. Metroid Dread did everything right, and it's more popular in Japan. So you're gonna get everybody who wants to buy it here in the US or Europe or West, and then also Japan. And that sold 3 million plus. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's a solid, you know, thing for Metroid. But people thought that Prime was gonna be some type of crazy blockbuster. It don't matter how good or not the game is. Sure, if the game reviewed 90 on Metacritic, maybe it would have sold a bit better, but it wouldn't have sold anything crazy. Metroid Prime Remastered came out on the Switch 1, and there was literally 100 million new gamers that have probably never even played Metroid Prime, and they opted to not buy the game. What do I get from Twitter? Excuses. Oh, well, they did a random drop, and oh, the physical version was later, and oh, well, if people played Metroid Prime 20 in on the GameCube and on the Wii, why would they buy it? I'm like, bro, Metroid Prime came out in 2002. Do you know that there's people that were babies in 2002 and now are adults? They're like 20-something years old. They didn't buy it. They didn't buy it because they didn't want to buy it. They didn't like it, or they don't care. Stop making excuses. Oh, well, they bought it 20. No, not everybody bought games 20 years ago or 30 years ago. There are new people. A lot of gamers, Metroid fans, think that everybody's been alive for the entirety of Metroid's history. Everybody's been alive since Metroid on the NES. Everyone's been alive since Metroid on the Super Nintendo. Everyone's been alive since Metroid on Prime. No, there are new people. There are new kids. If you were born in 2004, you are what? You're 22. You were literally born after the peak of Metroid Prime's popularity, which was on the GameCube in like 2002. You were born after. And those are young adults in today's day. I don't know why Metroid fans think that everybody is 35 years old and up. I don't know why Metroid Prime fans think that. It has not caught on to the newer generation. The newer generation does not like Metroid Prime. Plain and simple. Stop trying to act like it's some type of thing that's always just getting screwed over. It's not. Metroid Prime 3 came out on the Wii, one of Nintendo's best-selling systems of all time. It sold 1.3 million. The Wii Metroid Prime 3, it reviewed 90 on Metacritic. It had a good marketing campaign. It had "We would like to play" commercials. It had all of those commercials. It had marketing. It had everything. It had a $50 price tag. It had good Wii remote controls. It was paired next to an exploding system that was popular. Nintendo was selling Wiis like crazy in 2007. Stop making excuses for everything. Damn. Metroid Prime 2 on the freaking GameCube, I think outsold Metroid Prime 3, and GameCube had way less. Bro, come on. People just sitting here making excuses over and over and over and over and over and over. Metroid Prime's not popular. It's gonna sell anywhere between 1 million to 3 million units, and that's that, man. Like, just deal with it. Just deal with it. They've been making Metroid Prime games to have variety, not because they're big blockbuster sellers. And Metroid fans will think that everybody is freaking 40 years old, dude, that they all played Metroid Prime on the GameCube in 2002. They were all teenagers with Cheeto stains, or kids with Cheeto stains, playing Metroid Prime on their purple GameCube. No. Some people skipped it. Some people didn't play. Some people weren't interested. Some people, whatever, you know? See, Prime 4 had a chance to do it. Breath of, yeah, they're just delusional. Delusional Metroid Prime fans. And I'm actually more of a fan of 2D Metroid than Metroid Prime, but I like Metroid Prime 4. It's my favorite one, pretty much. Like, I love the game. I think it's actually really good, but I did not have any delusions of grandeur for this game, you know? But I don't get it. Metroid Prime outsold all 2D Metroid games, so that would mean Metroid Prime is more popular than 2D Metroid. What happened? No, it didn't outsell all of them. It sold right around the same as all of them. Super Metroid sold right around the same, and if you count NSO releases and all that, it's probably less. It sold right around the same. There is a big misnomer that Metroid Prime is somehow significantly more popular than 2D Metroid. No, it's not. There was one Metroid Prime game that sold better. The other Metroid Prime games sold worse than the 2D Metroid games. Guys like you, Felipe, like to sit there and pinpoint Metroid Prime, that one game, okay, and not look at the whole series. You look at Metroid Pinball, or you look at Metroid Hunters. Those didn't sell more than Super Metroid, than Metroid Fusion. Those didn't sell more or better. You guys like to sit there and pinpoint on just one game. No, when it comes to a series, no, 2D Metroid did better. There's one game in the Prime series. One game. What you mean? No. No. Y'all out here with the cap acting like one game all of a sudden means it's just more popular. No, it's not. 2D Metroid has sold more consistently than 3D Metroid. It's sold more consistently. You guys, you are part of the delusional crew that think that Metroid Prime means that, oh my god, well, who cares about Metroid Prime 2 not selling anywhere near those? Who cares about Metroid Prime 3? Who cares about Metroid Prime Hunters? Oh, those didn't sell. Oh, who cares? Metroid Prime, this one game. No. Yeah, it sold better at $20 Player's Choice crusty as hell in 2002, sure, or in 2004, sure. But that doesn't mean it sold, it was more popular than Super Metroid and more popular. That doesn't mean the whole series was more popular than Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission. That doesn't mean that. That's just online bullshit made from people that looked at one game sales.
Hey you, I want to shake your hand. I want to shake your hand.
No.
The streak continues. Also, can I get some Saros music?
Yeah, you can get some Saros music. No. It's not even really about Felipe, what Felipe's saying. It's really more about what people, I see this online from people, and it's stupid. It's dumb. They like to sit there and cut out games and cut out everything else just to try to make their point, and it's stupid, bruh. Metroid Prime has multiple games. Why are you only talking about one game in the whole series? That's dumb. Yo, Bazoo, thank you for the subscription, man. I appreciate it. I wonder if Metroid Prime 4's lackluster sales will make them consider doing something different with 3D Metroid. Probably won't. They'll probably just make another one. They'll just downsize it and make it more like Metroid Prime 1 and just sell it for a better price. Sell it for like 50 to 60 and maybe make it like a smaller development period. They'll just downsize it and not try to add more things. They'll just strip it back, take it back to the basics, less involvement, less development time, and get it out in like 3 years or something like that. They'll just remove stuff. And they said, let's just focus it in. Let's just hold it in on what it does well. If Metroid Prime 4 came out and it just focused on what it did well instead of the bike and some of the other stuff like that, then the game would have reviewed better, probably would have sold a little bit better, but it still would have sold around what Metroid Prime sells. The best selling Metroid Prime game ever is Metroid Prime, the original, on the GameCube. That was a game of the year, one of the highest rated games of all time, and it didn't even break 3 million units. Like, come on now, man. Metroid Prime 3, one of the highest rated Wii games, 90 plus rated on Metacritic. That didn't even sell more than 1.5 to 2 million units. Same thing goes for Metroid Prime 2 on the GameCube. Same thing goes for Metroid Prime Hunters, one of the better reviewed games. Metroid Prime Hunters did not sell on the DS. That's Nintendo's best-selling system, second best-selling system of all time, the DS. So, no. What's up, party man? My day's good. Hope they bring back Miles for Prime 5 just to troll the internet. No, don't bring that back. What they need to do is remove all that crap. That's going to make the game cost more. Remove everything that makes the game cost more. What you need to do for Metroid Prime 5, remove everything that makes the game cost more. Not because you can't make it work, but just because don't spend that investment and that time. The more characters you add, the more voice actors you have to have. The more voice actors you have, the more you have to spend on script and dialogue. Remove everything. These people, these crazy Metroid Prime 1 fans just want Metroid Prime over and over. Just give them that. Make it a smaller game where it's the same thing every single time with different map layouts. And then just JOJO lore, or the lore of Met. Just do that. Because that's what they want. They say, oh, I want isolation. I want the same thing. Don't do anything new. Make the same damn game with a different story every single time. And strip it back to damn near nothing. No dialogue with a bunch of stuff. Isolation. Samus is quiet all day. No other characters. Just make Metroid Prime 5 million times to the end until everybody dies. Just do that. That's all you got to do. Just strip it back. Because that's what people are saying. That's what I hear online. You can't do anything new. You can't do all that stuff. You can't do all that. No, just strip everything back. Make it as small as possible. Just make Metroid Prime 1 over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And if you do that, you could only sell, you don't have to worry about selling a bunch of copies. You can sell far few copies and it'll be fine, you know? So yeah. Nintendo stock dropped over 10% today. Why should I care about Nintendo stock? What does that matter? Are we not going to get games? Are we not going to get games down because of stock? Who cares? They're a multi-billion-dollar company with billion-dollar IPs and a ton of games that are coming out, and they sell millions of systems. Who cares? I'm not a stockholder. What are you worried about? Yeah, go buy on the dip. If you're worried about their stock, go buy on the dip. Who cares? Again, they also remade Prime 1 and for Switch for 40. Yeah, they did do that. Oh, gee, that was some BS that Tanabe wanted to do, so you don't have your bikes on a Metroid Prime game. Whatever, Felipe. Switch to, let's see here. But anyway, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up here. I'm sorry, but I've got to bounce. I just caught the time. Thank you guys so much for coming out to today's stream. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being awesome too, man. You guys have been dope. Yeah, I don't care about Nintendo's stock price. Nintendo's a billion-dollar company. They make billion. They're a well-oiled machine with money. Why do I care about their stock price? I'm not a stockholder, and even if I was a stockholder, oh well. You know, you buy more on the dip, or don't buy more on the dip, or sell all your stocks. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm a gamer, and I'm focused on it from a gamer perspective. I do not care about Nintendo stock. Who cares? Because I know I don't. So I don't know why people care about their stock. Stop listening to grifters. It doesn't matter. All right. Check out my most recent video, guys, talking about the sales and everything. If you haven't seen it. Wolf on Broke Street. I know, seriously. Where is he at? So shout outs, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Thank you guys for being awesome. Appreciate you guys. Go check out my video. And we will see you guys for the next one. All right, guys. Peace out.